recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You're like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
Erin.
I haven't started cooking more, but I have started thinking about cooking more, so I've looked at a lot of recipes for things. Mostly cocktails.
Zahkia.
I'm a very happy evil genius.
Yeah.
And Nick.
For all the listeners out there, if you spend enough money, you can be where I am today.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan, and it is the 500th time that I've said that. Welcome to episode 500.
Yay.
All right, guys. There's a lot of people on this call. I mean, some people I didn't even invite. They just showed up because they wouldn't say no. They wouldn't take no for an answer. So I'm going to go across your screen introducing your hosts and guests today. First up, Mr. Christopher Hollister is here. Hello, Chris.
It's almost like you forgot my name. Has it been that long, sir? You're like, Hollister.
I said
is
Mr.
great.
Christopher Hollister.
Okay.
No, your mic broke up in the middle of his first name.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
not my fault. Not my fault. No.
Anyway, wow, 500. 5 freaking hundy. This is impressive and awesome all at the same time. Who would have thought a little trivia show about 10 questions each about us trying to make each other look stupid would bring into this. This is fantastic.
So you admit it. I never tried to make you look stupid, but I felt like you were always trying to make me look stupid.
He accomplished it.
I thought I admitted that like 400 episodes ago.
Oh my God. The truth is out. All right, guys. That was Chris. Kit Sekelsky is with us today. Hello, Kit.
Hello.
Hello. Aaron Barkley's with us today. Hello, Aaron.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Nikki Bates is with us today. Hello, Nikki.
Hey, Jonathan. Happy to be here for the big 500.
Woo! Nick Groves is with us today. Hello, Nick.
Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Nick. Zahkia Mendoza is with us today. Hello, Zahkia.
Hola. Hola means hello.
Okay. Carmela Smith is with us today. Hello, Carmela.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Scott Barber is with us today. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Jonathan. Hello, everyone. Happy 500.
Happy 500. And last but not least, Mr. Benjamin Young. Hello, Ben.
In the words of Rob Everett, what up, doe?
Detroit.
So Detroit.
Oh, Ben, you missed it, man. In Detroit at SporkleCon, Rob did a live version of the game by Ben Young in the live show.
Yes.
It was fantastic.
It was amazing.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was
So glad I could
honor.
inspire him in that way.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened. All right, guys. I want to get to know each of you a little bit. No, I'm kidding.
What?
I
Jonathan, we've known each other for more than a decade. You got to know me by now, bro.
Yeah, no. I don't think I need to get to know any of you a little bit better. As listeners of the show, you guys are well familiar with all of these folks. Actually, the person you're probably least familiar with, even though she's been on a bunch, is Kit. Kit is our behind-the-scenes person who keeps me sane and helps me to not die. And so she's a big part of everything that we've been doing for years. And so, Kit, just a happy hello and thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for letting me hang out.
Kit is also objectively the best champion amongst all of us.
Agreed.
Just 1 point.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You know, objectively,
I'll
yes.
accept that one.
Yeah. And Scott, You are a regular on shows ending with 00.
Yeah.
From 100 to 500, you have been our guy.
Yeah,
How does that
for
feel?
for better or worse, I guess that's my that's what I do, and I love it. I love the 100 shows. I love planning for these. I love the organization, and of course, seeing everyone on one show's a big thrill for me, and to be on it, even bigger thrill. So it's awesome.
We are super glad that you are here.
Scott the Centurion.
I like that.
Better than the big 0.
Without further ado, we're going to get started right now with Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
Yeah, that's me today. All right. Woo-hoo. Hopefully this hasn't been done, but here's what I've got for you. According to a 2019 survey done by the printing company Vistaprint, I want you to go around the circle naming the top 30 most recognizable brand logos.
Oh, interesting. No, we haven't done that.
2019.
Cool.
And I think specifically, I'm not sure if it's worldwide, but they're not all American companies, but I believe these are the most recognizable brand logos by Americans.
Okay, so Kit, I'm going to ask that you call on us. You maintain the order, and we're not going to be able to do it without you telling us who's supposed to talk.
Yeah, fair enough. There are a lot of people here. All right, so I'm going to go in the order of people I've got on my screen here. So up first, we've got Chris Hollister.
All right, I'm going to go with, I think it's been the number one for a while, but Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola on the list. It is number 3, but that is good for the top 30, certainly.
Woot, woot.
All right, Nick Groves.
Let's go Nike. Swoosh.
Nike, number 4. All right, Nikki, let's keep it going. Let's see if you can get number 5. I want you to specifically try for the 5th.
Oh, geez.
Most recognizable
That's
logo.
a tall order. McDonald's.
That is number 2. You went the other direction.
Oh.
That's I don't know why we're like awing. Like you.
So close.
Up next, I'm going to keep calling you by the wrong name because it is in your Skype name. But Erin.
Hey, that's me. Pepsi.
Pepsi is on there, surprisingly quite a bit lower than Coca-Cola, but it is number 11 on the list.
Not really surprisingly. They deserve to be quite a bit lower than Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's, you know what? That's fair. I just kind of, when I think of
hostile.
one, I think of the other, but I do think of Coca-Cola first.
It's not weirdly hostile, honestly. I mean, have you ever, if you're a Coke person and you have the experience of going to a restaurant and saying, hey, I'd like a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero, and they say, we have Diet Pepsi, the negative feeling associated with that moment is
weirdly hostile.
strong.
I understand
Right.
it's strong. I've seen it, but it is weird.
It's the unofficial Pepsi logo. Is Pepsi okay?
It's so much that there was a meme about it where it said, I'd like to have a Coke. Is Pepsi okay? And the person responds with, is Monopoly money okay?
I mean, I would agree with the statement. Pepsi's okay. It's not good, but it's okay.
No, but Diet Pepsi is battery acid bad.
No, that's Diet Coke. Diet Coke is battery acid bad. Yes.
I felt like
Hot takes.
it's Pepsi okay? Like, is Pepsi going to therapy and making sure Pepsi's
After all these comments, I don't think they're okay.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Erin has a question.
Pepsi's like, damn it, why can't we be more like Mountain Dew? Damn it.
Erin, you're raising your hand, so I'm going to call on you.
Thank you. I'm waiting very patiently to say it took us like 3 minutes to go completely off the rails. That's all.
By the way, the funny part about Erin raising her hand like that to me is it looked like she was using Nikki as a puppet. So.
Well, on my screen, she's using me as a puppet. So,
wow.
And Nick has his hand up, and Nick has his hand up my ass. So there's
there you go.
So, yeah.
All right, keep going.
Up next, Zahkia.
I'm torn between 2, but I am going to go with Starbucks.
Starbucks is number 5.
Wow, good job.
Nice.
All right, Carmela.
I'm going to go with Apple.
Apple, number 1.
That was my other one.
All right, so we have got the first 5 of you got the first 5 on the, or no, sorry, because Pepsi was down there lower, but we've already knocked off the top 5. All right, Scott. Are we having Scott? Yeah, he's
absolutely.
He's
Scott
right?
answer.
Even though
Yeah,
you're host.
Scott,
Yeah,
please.
okay. You don't have access to this list, so Scott.
Yeah. Let's go with Wendy's.
Wendy's is, I don't believe, on the list.
That
Not on
was
the
the one I was
list.
going to go with, and you got picked from me right from the tree.
All right, Jonathan.
I'm going to say FedEx.
FedEx, number 23.
Woohoo!
All right, Benjamin Young.
I'm going to go with Google.
Google, number 6.
Yep.
All right, back around to the top of the order, Chris.
All right, the next one on my list I wrote down is Microsoft.
Microsoft it's definitely on there. Definitely. Oh, right. Okay. It's on here as Windows. That's why I wasn't seeing it.
Oh,
but
okay.
that's the same company. So 18.
Someday I'm going to invent my company, and I'm going to name it Micro Hard.
Good Lord, Jonathan. All right, Nick.
You already have a company, and you didn't name it that. So.
Can we mute Jonathan?
How do you know the LLC is named?
Wrong. Following the Google track, let's go Facebook.
Facebook, number 7. All right. Up next, we got Nikki again.
All right. You said they don't all have to be American, and this is international. I'm going to say the Olympics.
Oh.
Good answer. Good
That's
answer.
not on there.
Good answer.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It should be.
I feel like it should be. Like, it is.
Definitely a brand.
Yeah, I guess maybe it counts as an organization, not a company.
Right. It falls outside of the scope of the list.
So like the American
but that's
flag
really
is
good.
not on the list either, is what you're
Right,
saying.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? I'm giving myself points. You can move on. I
You
get
know
it.
what?
You should.
You got the spirit of it.
Get a trivia
Okay.
sticker on your helmet.
Erin.
Okay, well, let's see if this bears out for all sports leagues, and I'll say the NFL.
Oh, no.
Ba-da-dum.
Not on there, but that's good. All right. Zahkia.
Going with things that my son will recognize. He likes Amazon trucks. So I'm going to say Amazon.
Amazon is number 9. All right, Carmela.
IKEA.
IKEA not on here.
Oh, man.
Good. I hate IKEA.
Like their logo or just the whole company?
The whole thing. One, I can't tell you how many times it's been called Zahkia because someone thought it was funny. Yep. And then 2, like the 6th one in the country opened like down the street from me. So we have people making pilgrimages to Furniture Disney World. It's sorry.
But those meatballs are fire. Those meatballs
Fine.
Meatballs are good.
That lingonberry sauce is beep.
They're much better than they have any right to be.
Were you the last one to say one, Carmela? Sorry.
Yeah,
IKEA?
I said
Okay,
IKEA.
Okay. Sorry, I lost track. All right, Scott.
Well, this was done in 2019. I think Twitter was still a thing, so let's go Twitter.
It was still a thing, so that's why I definitely needed to say the year there. Number 16 was Twitter. All right, Jonathan.
I'm going to try Adidas.
Adidas, number 8.
Ooh.
Nicely done.
All right, we're back.
There you go.
Welcome.
There you go.
Well,
right.
we never left.
I know. No, my computer is determined to be a butthole today. It's like Aaron's coffee mug.
Now you're in a different order on my screen, but that's fine.
I'm sorry, but I said
okay.
Adidas.
Yes, Adidas is on there, number 8.
8, nice.
All right. Yeah, so you've got the top 9 now, and 10 might be slightly tricky. I'm going to give you a hint there. Ben, you're up next.
I don't know. I'm going to go with Toyota.
Toyota is on there at number 14.
Oh, that's smart. Okay, I got a long list now.
That's the okay. Never mind.
All right, top of the order, Chris.
I'm going to say Disney.
Disney is on there. I thought that would be next after IKEA was referred to as Furniture Disney.
Furniture Disney. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Disney is number 13. All right, Nick.
How about BMW?
BMW is on there at number 20.
Want to be Mercedes-Benz.
All right, Nikki.
Burger King.
Burger King is number 24.
Wow.
Burger King's massive in the Middle East. Like
It's crazy
that's like
too,
fine
because
dining.
Their food is still getting worse and worse. Maybe the service is better in the Middle East.
I think the food's better over there, honestly.
They used to have the best French fries, and then they changed them like 10 or 15 years ago, and now they taste like paper.
I agree.
They used to have the best burgers too, and they could still have the best burgers if they would hire a single person who actually gave a beep.
Yep.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
Erin.
1999
I'm gonna say
McDonald's
you're
fries was best fries. That's all I'm saying.
Purposely saying Erin right as she goes to take a drink.
Appreciate it. NBC.
Not on there.
That was a good guess.
I think it might. Maybe it's. I don't know if it's worldwide or not, but the survey that is didn't think it was. So that I don't know. Zahkia up next.
Caught between two again, but I'm just gonna go with my hometown hero and say Ford.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Ford is on there at number 15.
Okay.
And Carmela.
Oh, let's say the car route. GM.
GM not on there.
Mm-mm.
All right, Scott.
Well, the food route took me down a different path. I'm going to go out on a limb and say KFC.
Ah, you took mine.
Not on there.
Wow.
Whoa!
So I wonder.
Surprises me.
I wonder if it's because, and
It's
same
part
thing
of
with
the Yum Corporation, maybe,
Well,
that it's part of
maybe.
a conglomerate.
There are some subsidiaries in here,
Okay.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's the same reason things like NFL, IKEA, GM are on here, is that the logo is the name.
There's some like Google and
Like
Coca-Cola are on
Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There. Okay.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just
KFC's
survey
not on there
information.
because it's terrible. It's okay.
But
I
Burger
would
King's on
say,
here.
and I don't know if I'm gonna lead you guys into a hint, but with GM specifically, I think its subsidiaries are more recognizable than the actual
Totally
GM
agree.
itself. So if you want to guess one of those,
You're not sure if you're going to lead us to a hint, though?
All right. Jonathan.
yeah.
I'm gonna say I like the shoe brand thing. I'm gonna go Reebok.
Reebok not on here.
Could you check again?
Yes, I could.
Okay.
It's not going to change anything.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, I
All
got a
right.
Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
All right, Ben.
If this was wrestling, I would say Joe Hendry, but I'm not going to guess that.
Crap, Joe, what are you doing here now?
I do believe in him. I'm going to go with Netflix.
Oh, not on here.
Oh.
All right,
that's
let's
okay,
do.
though.
You've got over half of them now, I believe. So let's go one more time around, and then I will fill in the blanks if that sounds good to everyone.
Cool.
All right, Chris, last chance.
I think I'm going with I think it's the biggest car company in the world, and that's Honda.
Honda is on here at number 25.
4 for 4, people. What
Nice.
All right, Nick.
What about IBM?
IBM not on the list.
3
Nick?
for 4, people.
Nikki.
Target.
Oh, very
Nice.
good, but not on here.
What?
Basically, if I react, it's like me realizing that there are things that should, in my opinion, be on the list.
I do appreciate that with this and the Olympics that you're like,
Yeah.
that's not on here, but you're right, Nikki.
That should
Got a circle.
It's the
in your
children
logo,
who
you
are
should
wrong.
get it. All right, Erin.
I have some questions about the methodology of this study, but I'm going to say
Yeah,
Wells
sure.
Fargo.
Not on the list.
Yeah, 1 for 4, baby.
Zahkia.
I'm caught between 3 answers here, and they're all kind of in the same, but I'm going to say MasterCard.
Not on the list.
Wow. Dang.
Carmela.
I'm out of stuff. Visa.
Yes.
Yeah. Way more popular
Yeah.
than MasterCard.
Visa is number 22 on the list. Scott.
Let's go with PlayStation.
PlayStation not on the list.
That's
For 4 too.
You're going to go
Let's
PlayStation
go.
over Sony?
Sony's
Sony-
also not
again,
on
the
there. I'm
Sony
just going to spoil
doesn't
that.
have like a logo.
about-
Like
Yeah, I was
PlayStation
gonna
has
say,
a logo.
what about Walmart?
All right, let's get the last 2 guesses.
Yeah,
Better guesses here.
I thought we were
Also,
done. I thought
Walmart
that was.
not on
I'm
the
sorry.
list. Just-
I thought Scott was last. My bad.
Oh, no, sorry. We got Jonathan and Ben still. So, Jonathan,
Okay, then I'm gonna say Pixar.
Pixar not on the list.
I'm gonna say Walmart. I meant Walmart.
No,
Ah.
so I know I led you down that path. Walmart's also not on the list. Ben, your last go.
I think this is the largest company in the world, so I'm going to go with Samsung.
Oh, not. All right.
I can still be right and wrong. So me and Nikki are sitting in the
Yeah.
same seat right now.
I mean, it was also it was a survey of 2,000 people. I'm not sure. I don't know the methodology within that, but I cited my source, so these are correct based on the sources that I gave you. All right, the ones we didn't get under the category of subsidiary, we got YouTube at number 10.
I thought
I guess that.
No one said Mercedes as their actual guess. I think it was mentioned, but then not given as a guess. Was number 12. Instagram, number 17.
Wow. eBay?
No eBay. Got Nissan at 19. Weirdly, Playboy at 21. I mean, I guess it's
that
pretty
makes
recognizable.
sense.
It's not really
It's all the
relevant.
Iconic logo.
Red Bull at number 26.
I hear it gives you wings.
Yeah. Levi's at 27. Lego at 28.
Oh.
Right.
Marvel at 29. And rounding out the car companies is Ferrari at number 30.
You know, I think I'm picking up on it. I think that if the survey was based on showing people logos with the words blurred out and seeing if they recognize it, that seems like the methodology they use.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at that.
All right.
Yeah, that's
your
our warm it
warm-up,
up, Chris.
Good job, everybody. Good job. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
So, y'all, one thing that I love about our show is that our listeners think that we're smarter than we are. Case in point, I posted the picture from earlier, and already 2 people have made the comments, "Oh, I get it. It's your mug shots." Because of that's so clever. I wish we had thought of that.
That would have been so much smarter than what we did.
I mean, I would have called it the gauntlet of gauntlets, but
Oh, nice.
Oh, amazing. All right.
This is why I want to meet more of our fans in real life so that they can know how much of an idiot I actually am. Like, I just want y'all to understand.
Yeah, it took me a few seconds to understand that joke. So. Exhibit A.
We're trivia people, not comedians.
No,
By the
I'm
way-
a comedian, not a trivia person.
This picture looks so much like a Brady Bunch thing with Nikki as Alice. That's amazing.
I'm deceptively young.
I don't remember any black people in a Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Today is episode 500. Everybody's listening. We are on the main feed. A big thank you to everybody who is here with us today. We love you all. We would not be doing this for 500 episodes without you guys, without your support, without your love, without your help, without your engagement. We've been doing this almost 10 years now, and we really love you guys and appreciate you. And honestly, if you want to see 500 more, you need to go to trivialwarfarearmy.com, sign up as a sergeant or higher, and get access to our first 200 episodes, which truly are fantastic. There's some good stuff back there. So, trivialwarfarearmy.com, sign up as a sergeant or higher to get everything we've ever done. Today's show is a monster. It is a monster. It is Erin and Nick versus
Yay.
Carmela and Ben versus Nikki and Jonathan versus Chris and Zahkia, with Scott and Kit hosting, and it is time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
All right. So these 100 episodes, again, always an honor and a privilege for me to have an opportunity to write, to host, to put it together. And in the past, we've had some interesting gimmicks and different ways that we try to work into the questions. But this time, we have a very full house of hosts. And one of the ideas I had was I'm all the time hearing from other people when I meet Trivial Warfare listeners out in real life. I always hear how they got attracted to the show and their favorite episodes and some of their favorite things. And I thought a good idea for this show would be to hear from the hosts and what they remember from the last 500 episodes and what they have in their minds as highlight moments or memorable items that they've had over, like said, last 10 years. So I had the hosts send me what they had as just a couple, 3 memories each of what they remember from the past 500 shows, and loosely, and I must stress loosely, built a game around that. So with that being said, I'm going to bring up each memory to each of you and let you have a chance to talk about it for the entire listening audience. This is going to go, everyone's going to get an opportunity to talk for the first round and then back around for the second time to talk. So it's going to go from top down in no particular order. So to start off with, Nick Groves, you had sent me a memory from one of your favorite moments in the past from episode 424, where you were hosting the game and Jonathan maybe wasn't quite thrilled with the way you're asking questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Shocking. Jonathan was being mean to me. No, so this was a funny game because I had written a bunch of them in a row. I think this was in a time period where I had hosted like 3 out of 6 games or something like that. Like every other game was one I was hosting. And I said, you know what I'm going to do for this game? As I sat down to write it, I went, I'm going to try. I'm going to channel Erin here. I'm going to try to channel Carmela. I'm going to try to put in as many like good clues and backdoor answers, and I want this game to be one of the best things that I've ever written. So I put in so much time and effort into this game. The only game I put more time into was the AI game, the Chat GPT game, which took forever to put that together. But this was the second most time I ever put into a game. And I asked the first question, and immediately Jonathan was like, this was also, I think Lisa Wolfish was on it, and James Hoover was on it, and Benjamin, I forget your last name, I apologize, was on it. And they had made a comment early in the game about
Nick. His name is Young. He's
no,
right
not that Benjamin. Not him. But yeah, basically, they had made a comment early in the game about how my games are always the hardest games out of any of the hosts. With Jonathan is like, no, absolutely not. Nick's the idiot. Like his games are the easiest ones. Like they're all straightforward. There's never any backdoor answers. Like there's never any clues.
Straightforward.
And yeah, it's very straightforward. This was after the first question. And I told Jonathan that I took an affront to that, and that I accepted his challenge, and that every question from here forward would be well thought out with amazing clues and everything else. And then immediately the answer to the next question was the board game Clue, which James pointed out, and we all had a very good laugh over. But then Jonathan wrote in the show notes, or I guess Kit wrote in the show notes, that Jonathan said it was the best game that I had ever written. So I got my comeuppance at the end of that, and I was very happy with that. But yeah, that was a good memory of the last 100 episodes for me.
I remember that, and I remember at the end of the episode, I was just like, "Oh my God, those questions were so well done." They were none of them were like over the top hard. They all had ways in. It was truly a masterpiece of a game.
Yeah, I was very excited about that. And I had my best, what was it? Doggedly held the line as the lead singer of Toto. That's maybe my favorite question ever.
All right. So with all of that being said, let's get to the first question. In round 1, in the category of I want my good clues now. Your question is, from the album titled Clues, Robert Palmer's single Looking for Clues, a UK top 40 not-so mega hit, made history in the United States on August 1st, 1981, by becoming the 23rd song ever to do what?
Nikki and I are locked in.
You good? We're locked in.
Yeah, we're locked in too. Oh, yeah.
Z&C Trivia Factor is locked in, people.
All right.
If this many people sounds chaotic to the listener, I can assure you it's also very chaotic in like real time on the call.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to live up to my Muppetisms.
All right, we're licked in.
We are also locked in.
All right, I think everybody's locked in. Erin, Nick, what do you have? Tell us your thought process for this one.
All right. So Erin and I started out by saying absolutely nothing to each other. And then I went in and saying, I'm waiting for your three dots to show up to tell me what the answer is here because I'm totally lost. And that was how far we got for the first minute and a half. And then both of us at the same time were like, what did you say, Erin? You said something about being a number one.
Oh, yeah. So I think the obvious answer is number one hit, but that doesn't make sense because they were doing it for more than 23 weeks before August 1st. So that's probably not it.
Right. So she said, it's probably done before 81. And I'm like, wait, what did start in 81? And then both of us immediately at the same time went, oh, it's MTV. MTV started in 81. The 23rd ever song. That's such a weird number. It was probably the 23rd song to air on MTV. And then we saw I Want My Good Clues Now and sang it like Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits. And MTV is where we locked in.
Carmela and Ben.
I threw out a couple different things. So Ben had thrown out, number one in the first week. Like first one to be played on, or, to be 23rd time to be played on FM radio. I don't know when FM radio technically started. And then, or played on MTV, which 81 is the right year for MTV or right about. And they would have played videos all day. So we went with MTV.
And Chris Zahkia.
That's Z and C. And
I'm
yes.
sorry, Z and C. My apologies.
That's right. Anyway, I threw out MTV.
I did not process the question correctly. I'm like, oh, MTV Video Kill the Radio Star was the first one. Haha, meta. And you're like, oh no, it's the 23rd one. I'm like, oh no, yeah. That checks.
That's pretty much the exact conversation Ben and I had.
All right, Jonathan, Nikki.
Yeah, honestly, it was kind of an insta-get, which is a weird thing to have as an insta-get, but the question came up, and within about 20 seconds, we locked in. It was just August 1st, 1981. This is going to be day one MTV. We immediately said the 23rd song.
The 23rd
song to be played.
You didn't see thongs on MTV till the 90s with rap with video vixens.
Well, everyone figured out all of the clues that I had left for this one, which is I Want My Good Clues Now. Sounds a lot like I Want My MTV. And it was. It was the 23rd video ever shown on MTV, August 1st, 1981 being the first day of MTV's broadcasting. Good job, everybody.
Yay.
Good start.
Chris.
Yes, sir.
You had sent me a note about how you really enjoyed piece from episode 278. Your name is Mookie now. Jane Carmichael renaming one of the kids in her house Mookie.
I wasn't even on that episode, if I remember correctly. I just remember. But first and foremost, not only did I help Jonathan create this show, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan first and foremost. I love listening to it when I have a chance. And anytime Jane Carmichael is on, one, she is my trivia nemesis.
Wow.
And so if you've listened to Nick Groves's awesome podcast, Things That Are Blank, you will understand that comment. She is my trivia nemesis. But I just listened to that, and all I'm hearing her in the background is going, Mookie, come here, Mookie. And it's just, and in my head, I still can hear it, and it's still hilarious to this day. So, yes, even when I'm not on the show, I am listening and ever appreciative of just all the things that Trivia Warfare does.
I re-listened to that episode recently, and yeah, it's still hilarious. That's also the episode that had Will Dennison in it, I think.
Yes.
It is the episode where Rob Warman became Rob Warman. That is the episode, because Will told us about the commercial up in the Chicagoland area.
Yes. Yeah. I was a little mad at it because I already gave Rob a nickname, and then Will did that and gave him another nickname, dadgummit.
So your question 2 in round 1 is in the category of your number is Mookie now. As mentioned in the episode referenced, Mookie Blaylock was a previous band name for the American grunge superstar group Pearl Jam. They eventually settled on paying tribute to Blaylock by renaming their first album after his jersey number. What was the title of that album?
Yep.
We're locked in.
Yes.
Zahkia, just let you
I
know,
hope we get a...
Yeah. This was the first album I ever bought in every media form. I had it in record, CD, tape, digital
8-track.
now, and it did not come out in 8-track. Anyway,
Reel to
sorry,
reel.
we are supposed to be quiet right now.
In. We get 3, 2, 1 if y'all want. If we got 4, 3, 2, 1s, we can do it.
I don't. Not everybody's locked in yet.
You got it.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, we're good, Aaron. That's if you're not. Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm 99.9% sure.
Oh, then you shouldn't have put a question mark at the end of it. Yeah, we're locked in.
I just wanted to. Okay, we're locked in.
I said pass. That means I don't know.
So just so y'all know, I sent Carmela a message and I said, unless I say I'm absolutely sure, we're going with your answer.
Ben's like, I don't know this white people music.
No, but I know who Mookie Blakelock. I can't even say his name.
Valid.
Damn.
Valid.
Atlanta Hawks. So it's a small number. I think it's 10. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I was like 11. And so Ben, I think you're right. I think it's 10. I think I'm overthinking it. So 10. I'm good with that.
We'll go with 10.
All right. Aaron, Nick.
Aaron said pass, and I said 10, and she said cool. So we also went with 10.
Chris, Zahkia.
Yeah, you're going to notice that in our chat, Zahkia and I, it's just going to be a mutual love fest for this whole time. So, like I said, I had this album in every available media. It is absolutely 10. On my top 3 albums of all time list for sure.
And I just know it from the album cover. So
that's my partner.
Jonathan, Nikki, you locked in early.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12. That's a pointer system.
We stopped at 10, baby. 10.
When I was writing this question, I almost put at the very end for 10 points. What was the title of the album? Thought that might be a little too much of a giveaway, but Mookie Blaylock's number and the title of the album was 10. Points all around.
Nice.
Ben, that's a good question.
I got that from the NBA side.
That's the harder way to go, Ben.
Yeah, it's definitely the harder way to go.
I always do it the hard way.
Ben, you asked a good question. Did Chris and Zahkia reveal their full team name?
Yes.
We'll say it again gladly.
We'll do a musical thing.
3, 2, 1.
Dun, 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 dun. We're going to make you trivia till you bleed.
Beep.
I gotta go, guys. I'm flipping for a show, but I'm out. Bye.
That's it.
There's a contender for the title.
That's the line.
Show. There's a.
Everybody Dance Now is not our name, by the way. ZNC Trivia Factory. Yes, because you have to like a musical. Sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna be doing the whole time.
Wow.
Oh.
I don't want to bleed.
I ain't got time to bleed.
But sweat, that's in the song. That's another bodily fluid.
Well, that's what I said.
Sweat till you bleed is the line.
I'm going to make you sweat till you bleed. So that's why I said we're going to make you trivia till you bleed.
Beep, beep.
I'd like the trivia till I sweat, please. That would be. I'm okay with that.
I don't even want to do that.
I don't even want to do that. I'm with you, Aaron. I just want a trivia until the trivia's done.
At this point, I'm iffy on the trivia.
Yeah. We're at question 2, and we've been recording for 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. All right, Scott, let's hear the next question.
Third question. Zahkia, you sent me a message about one of your favorite moments from an episode that you weren't on, episode 404, where Badonkadonk took on a very Greek meaning.
Yeah, so when I was going into the office, Trivial Warfare was always my go-to when I was driving in. And I had to pull over at the end when I think it was Kit hosted this episode and asked about what's the name for a very lovely, beautifully shaped butt and what's the Greek term for it? Nobody knew. Both teams answered badonkadonk, which is that was enough to get me to pull over. But I think it was Will Krasnoff who said from the Greek badonk and for beautiful and a donk for shaped. And I just literally head between the knees, wheezing. And what I didn't tell you, Scott, is that my director was behind me and saw me pull over. and then asked me what happened on the way into work. And I did not know how to answer him. I couldn't tell my director about badonkadonks, but that...
Play him the clip?
No, because he knows...
Missed opportunity.
He knows about the podcast. He just does not listen. Shame on you, Raph. But yeah.
From the Greek badonk. Oh my God, I love it.
Amazing.
You know, we have a long history of almost killing people in cars. We almost killed Steve Ellison in Croatia.
To be fair, Steve Ellison in foreign countries is a near-death experience no matter what's going on.
We've saved people in cars
this
too,
country
though.
or his home country.
We've had people email us about how they were having a panic attack in the car and they turned on Trivial Warfare. So we've saved more than we've nearly killed. I just want to point that
kept
out.
people awake on 20-hour drives.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
I appreciate that body count appears to be our metric for success.
Was that not our metric? I've
yes.
been operating that way the whole time, Erin.
I'm not on the business
spoken by the attorney in the room. I just want to point that out.
How else do you measure success in warfare? It's body count.
Beep.
Beep. So, your third question in the first round is from the category I like Greek butts and I cannot lie. Or alternatively, Shorty got low.
Oh my God.
Your question is, in Homer's Odyssey, who was the nymph that held Odysseus captive on her island for 7 years against his will? Her name is shared with another beautiful bottom of Greece, the deepest point in the Mediterranean Sea.
I assume your lick emoji you're good?
It was until you said a different answer than I was going to say.
Well, never mind then. What do you think?
I'm not going to say it out loud.
Nope, that's not the right word.
If Kit is on all the other chats like ours, this is going to be the greatest day of her life.
Wow.
I'm on them too, and it's pretty awesome.
We should lock that in, Carmela.
Yeah, because I don't know the answer. So.
Yep, this is all you. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to laugh. We're locked in.
Yeah, we're locked in.
Ooh. We're locked in.
Booyah!
We are locked in.
Okay, so I know that there's two places where Odysseus and his men were held against their will for years. One of them was by Circe. I know that 100%. And I threw out another name that rings a bell, Calypso, but I'm not sure about that, right? I'm sure about Circe. I'm not sure about Calypso. But then I bring up the word for beautiful butts from the other episode is Callipygian. And Nikki, you make a great point. Callipygian and Calypso sound a whole lot alike.
I mean, they begin the same way. That sure seems like they have the same root.
But her name isn't a root, it's a name.
If Calypso is ringing a bell for you, and you also know a word for beautiful bottoms that starts with Calip, then I think we ought to go with that one.
All right, we'll go Calypso, and if it's Circe, then that's...
This is why you can't trust a big butt and a smile.
And if you've seen my wife, you know I did not follow that advice.
Girl is poison.
ZNC Trivia Factory.
My wife did follow that because I have no butts and I cannot lie about it, sadly. Zahkia and I have just been singing to each other right now.
Yeah, it's been karaoke hour, specifically Save the Best for Last by Vanessa Williams. Because in the Odyssey TV movie that came out in like the 2000s, she played a character that held Odysseus on an island. She had lovely braided hair and her name was Calypso. We also talked about Circe briefly, but the fact the question says it's just Odysseus and not Odysseus and his men that she did something to, I'm thinking Calypso, and it started Chris and I on a karaoke journey. So,
because Circe was the pigs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like your answer. Y'all keep supporting us. This is good.
All right, Erin and Nick, Talk us through what you thought.
Scott, I've been doing some etymology Googling. Do you want me to say it, or do you want to save it for your flavor text?
Please.
Callipygian. I heard you say it 100 times. My brain stalled when I read it. Comes from Cali, meaning lovely, and Pigeon, I think, meaning buttocks. Calypso has a different etymology. I don't know that makes our reasoning right. We had the exact same conversation. I read the book Circe about a year ago, and I remember that Odysseus showed up on her island and she turned his men into pigs. But then I remember he hung out there for quite a while and probably lied to his wife when he got home and was like, nah, she totally held me captive. Nick, I was like, I got meow-meows on this because I just read this and it's Circe. And then Nick was like, well, is it Calypso? And I'm like, well, I had meow-meows and now I have nothing. So we went back and forth and I'm like, I don't know. I felt really confident. And Nick said, don't let me stand in your way. So we ended up going the other way and saying Circe, and we're going to see who was right.
That wasn't very supportive of our answer.
Okay.
While you were going down that etymology wormhole, did you find out where badonkadonk was derived?
No, but I will.
From Missy and Elliot.
That's right.
Carmela and Ben.
Donkey is in there somewhere.
Or was it a honky tonk?
Keith Murray is actually credited with coining the term, which was first
true.
recorded in the song Fatty Girl.
Yep. That was an angle I was looking toward when I was writing the questions. I found that out too.
There's no additional information.
Yeah, that's why you were Googling badonkadonk, Scott.
Well, you'll never know. Carmela and Ben.
It's all Carmela.
So Circe's been on my TBR for years at this point. I haven't read it yet. And I couldn't remember. I know it's in there somewhere, but I couldn't remember. So me being me and knowing who my other half is here, I wrote Aphrodite. And Ben's like, that one. And I'm like, all right, cool. That's where we're going. Bye, y'all.
Yes.
Which is now in the lead for show title.
That is an album title. Somebody please record Aphrodite.
That's a Megan Thee Stallion album title.
I am pre-calling that as a future mega hit.
I believe her counterpart is Adongus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Indeed it is.
Wow.
I'm a big fan of when playing live
show.
I'm a big fan of when I'm playing trivia. I tell the team, if we can't be right, be funny. So that should generally be the rule. All right. So in reference to the deepest part of the Mediterranean Sea, which is in the Hellenic Trench known as Calypso Deep.
Yes.
Sorry, Nick.
The answer is Calypso.
Boy, Nikki, I'm so glad you pushed on that because that was just an inkling of an answer. And Circe, I knew for a fact. So that was good. You saved us.
You're the one who came up with the answer. I was just naming Greek islands and going, I don't know.
Can we switch teammates? I apparently need someone that tells me to sit down and shut up and not encourage my wrong answers.
Oh, he can learn. Nick can learn to say that, but he won't.
Nick only does that for pleasure, not business.
Wow.
No, Nick's the one that gets told to sit down and shut up. That's the natural order.
Different kind of pleasure, though. When that happens.
All right. After the first round, we have Chris and Zahkia 30, Jonathan and Nikki with 30, Carmela and Ben with 20, and Erin and Nick with 20.
This is honestly one of the most pub trivia experiences where it takes the host a minute and a half to read off all of the different team names.
That's a good point. In 35th place.
Yeah.
All right. Start of round 2. Ben, when I'd asked for memorable moments, you brought me one from episode 227, Jefferson's Deep Space Nine, where you had said, fire up the warp, Wheezy. Yeah, B. Arthur, shut up. And the joke had went from joking about how you went from Jefferson Starship became Starship, and then Jefferson Deep Space Nine was what you came up was the eventual title.
I gave this to you because Jonathan had reached out to us a few years back and said, hey, I'm looking for some refreshed versions of outtakes that we can do for our intro. And so I sent him a list of all the main hosts and things that I could remember. And Fire Up the Warp Wheezy, in my opinion, is the funniest thing I've ever said in the history of this show. Just because it was just so spontaneous, and we were trying to come up with sequels. I think the question related to sequels to a TV series. I was trying to make the Jeffersons work, and it just turned into Jefferson's Deep Space Nine. And so it was just one of those spontaneous moments, and it's an indelible memory from Trivial Warfare from Ben.
Yeah, you nailed it. It was talking about spinoffs. It was a halftime about spinoffs from an original series. Yeah,
I think the fact that you did it in Jefferson's voice, like I remember you doing it as an imitation, and it truly, God, I've forgotten about that. That is one of the funniest things I've ever heard in the movie.
Yeah, George Jefferson is an icon, just in TV in general. So it was an honor.
Well, your first question in round number 2 is in the category of a different kind of Jefferson reference. Thomas Jefferson may have had many nicknames, like the Apostle of Democracy and Father of the Declaration of Independence, but it was a 2-word nickname given to him by Alexander Hamilton that best fits this memory, since it was a reference to the color of Jefferson's hair and, by doubling the last letters of each word, the name of a 70s sitcom star whose show had also seen a number of several failed spinoffs.
Okay. God, need that one. Okay. I got to read this one.
No, you don't. I got it.
Seriously?
Are you serious? Oh, let me read none of them. Read this.
Oh, I got it.
All right. I just trust you. We're in. We'll lock it.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
Yep.
You good with that, Ben?
Zakia, say the magic words.
We're locked in.
We're also locked in.
So is that just Nick and Erin?
Oh, man, we're going to have to talk out loud on this one.
Yeah. So Nick's first response was beep, beep. And I said, was Jefferson Ginger? Big red with 2 G's and 2 D's. And that's kind of as far as we got. 70 sitcoms, like, I don't know. I'm useless there.
Well, it's Red Fox is the name of the 70s sitcom star.
Oh. Then is that the answer?
Is it Big Red, doubling the last letters of it?
No, would it not be Red Fox, a 2-word nickname?
REDDFOXX. So
Yeah.
was Red Fox? Is it both the sitcom star and the? Let me reread the question.
Please.
Just
keep talking.
It's a reference to the color of Jefferson's hair, and by doubling the last letters of each word, the name of the 70s star whose show had several spinoffs. Yeah, so Red Fox, REDDFOXX, Red Fox.
That sounds like our
fair to
answer.
Nick, Scott, there is no actual question in the question.
There isn't. Yeah,
he didn't know what to answer.
Well, and it was since it was a reference to the color of his Jefferson's hair, and by doubling.
Yeah, I put a lot in there, but I didn't say, hey, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can blame me on that one. I looked these over. So
Well, apparently everyone else got it basically instantly, so I don't think y'all are the problem.
Yeah.
No, I'm the problem. We've established that.
Me. Anyway, we're locked in with that thing that Nick said.
All right, Carmela and Ben.
So my first instinct was to write beep head, as that's what he would have called Jefferson, because he would have.
Yeah.
I do remember that Jefferson was a redhead, and so I started to write REDD. I was like, oh, it's Red Fox, and Ben agreed with me. So,
all right, Jonathan and Nikki.
Sanford and Son theme used to be my alarm clock sound, wah, 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 and it is Red Fox.
By the way, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Z&C, Trivia Factory. What do we got?
I knew Jefferson had red hair, and then Red Fox came to mind, and the Sanford and Son theme song was also sampled by MIA, the rapper, in a song called You Are a QT. So that is in my head right now. But I wouldn't say that to Thomas Jefferson. I would say you are a So we said Red Fox.
All right, everybody said Red Fox, and everybody gets points. Your answer is Red Fox.
Yeah, all around.
Excellent job. Next, Nikki. You had sent me a memory from episode 157, A Reasonable Amount of Thunder, where you made a joke about your pythons, if I remember right.
Well, I had been a listener for quite a while. That was my first episode. And as long as we're talking about car accidents and stuff, I didn't get into an accident, but I do remember the first time being mentioned on the show when I had sent in a Warm It Up, Chris. I do remember screaming at the top of my lungs in the car. Like, I'm sure that other traffic around me was like, what is happening? But this was the first episode I actually got to appear on. And I think I really confused Carmela and Jonathan because we were talking about, I don't know, muscles or biceps or something. And I very seriously asked them if they had any good veterinarians in their area. And they were very confused because we don't live near each other. I'm in Nebraska and they're in Florida. And I said, because these pythons are sick. And they laughed and I felt really good. I was like, okay, good. I made a joke on the show. So yeah, now I've met you guys both and gotten to see you both at, Geek Bowl and SporkleCon and takeovers and all kinds of stuff. And now here we are. Welcome to the Big D. It's 500.
It is a terrible pickup line is essentially what that joke is, right?
Yeah.
Well, what was funny is earlier in the show, I messaged Erin. I was like, Erin, I don't know what's going on, but your arms are looking awesome today. She looks like she can bench press a car.
I can't.
And then we start talking about pythons.
Thank you.
Yeah, dig it.
So your question number 2 in round number 2 is from the category, and now a completely different type of sick python. In a Monty Python skit where a man is being interviewed on a talk show about how he only speaks in anagrams, Hamrag, or Graham, mentions that he is working on anagram versions of Shakespeare. He says his current project is Ring Kitchard III, which the host immediately says is not an anagram, but instead a transposition of the initial sounds of the two words. Named for an absent-minded 19th century British clergyman, what is this type of wordplay called?
At least I'm pretty sure, Ben.
Yeah, we can log in with that.
All right, we're locked in.
Nikki, I trust you. If you say 100%, we're going with you. Do you want a hammer or a whistle?
Yes, hammer me, please. Woo! Do the hammer. That's not. Nope, we're gonna edit that.
Too late. I'm hammer you. This fast. We're locked in.
This is what the deer in the headlights look right now.
We're not talking, right?
No, I'm just saying. I'm afraid.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, so you've given 3 answers.
I think it's that one.
Oh, okay. Let's lock in with that.
Cool.
And if we're wrong, it's my fault this time.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, Mississippi River. What is happening to us? So, okay, this is hitting at all of my weak spots, and all of my weak spots live in England. So, like, Monty Python, British, anything, 19th century. So I'm thinking, why would I know this? This is probably someone I've heard of. Is it a real person? Is it a character? And I think absent-minded, I'm like, okay, is he forgetful? The only thing that is coming to mind is Forgetful Jones from Sesame Street. And I'm pretty sure he was from Texas and not the UK. I literally cannot. I don't know.
Okay, because I'm just looking at the ring. I've literally read the question like 5 times because the ring Kitchard III. It's just why does it sound like the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland?
Oh, like Lewis Carroll? Like he did stuff. Like, was he a clergy?
I don't know. I really, like I said, bag of nothing.
Yeah, know what?
Yeah.
Lewis Carolism.
Okay. It's not a Christmas Carol, is it? No. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sometimes these jokes have to walk over to people. Yeah. If you want to just, if you want to put a Carol in our ism, I'm fine with that.
Let's put the Carol in the ism because I got nothing else.
Yeah. All right. Carolism. Locked in.
All right.
Answer. Okay.
Erin, Nick.
So it wasn't quite a similar conversation to the whole Calypso Cersei one because I actually contributed both answers and then argued with myself. I said it's either Spoonerism or Mondegreen. It's one of the two. That's one of them, and the other one is mishearing song lyrics. And I say that with confidence now, having no idea if I'm actually right. But Nick was like, Mondegreen sounds French. It says British clergy. I'm like, sure, Spoonerism it is. And if we're wrong, it's 100% Nick's fault.
Carmela and Ben.
That's a safe strategy, by the way.
So
blame Nick.
Come up with all the answers and then blame Nick.
It took me about 2 seconds to write the answer in for Ben. And he's like, yeah, sure. I was like, okay, cool. So the reason I know this is because this is the way that the Sheriff of Nottingham talks in Robin Hood Men in Tights. And one of the first apps I ever... one of the first apps I ever put on my first iPhone was the IMDb app, because I like to look at stuff while I'm watching movies like a crazy person. And I remember them talking about spoonerisms in regards to the Sheriff of Nottingham. And so this is 15 years ago, and I never forgot it. So it's a spoonerism.
Yay!
And Jonathan and Nikki.
I love cryptic crosswords, variety cryptics, all kinds of wordplay stuff. So I like this question. And often there will be a clue that says Rev Spooner. And I always thought that that stood for reverse spoonerism, because I have heard that. So we went spoonerism, but I am really interested to hear about this clergyman, because is there an actual Reverend Spooner? They use that a lot in clues, and I thought it was just as a cryptic shorthand for reverse spoonerism. But yeah, we also went spoonerism.
He's a love minister.
A cuddler.
Well, a lot of you were trying to go down a lot of wrong rabbit holes. I heard Mondegreen, which is, and laid him on the green. Mondegreen is where that comes from. And so that is the mishearing of song lyrics. You also have malaprop out there as another way to get things not quite right when you hear it. But this one I was looking for, named after Reverend William Archibald Spooner, who was known for making such mistakes, is a spoonerism.
Just to be clear, it was only going to be Nick's fault if it was wrong. I totally got that right.
You came up with the answer.
That was awesome. Good job, Erin.
Yeah, Nikki, some of the examples of spoonerisms that Reverend Spooner actually said was, "It is customary to cuss the bride," and you have hissed all of my mystery lectures. When he was yelling at a student who had missed all of his history lectures.
Wow.
But yeah, go rewatch Robin Hood Men in Tights, and that is Sheriff of Nottingham's whole deal is just nothing but spoonerisms.
Yeah.
Erin,
hey,
you had sent me a note from episode 400 where you had what you called an extinction level giggle fit, which I thought was... which put me in an extinction level giggle fit.
Yes. It was me and Carmela. It was a tag team effort. And I was recounting this with Nick downstairs before he got on the call. You asked a question about and I'm assuming you're not going to repeat the question so I can reveal what it was. The question was what Sesame Street character's first name is Stanley. And I was trying to type Snuffleupagus into my phone and I could not. It was Snuffle Onion. It was Snuffle Opinion. And finally I went with, the Greek guy. At which point, Carmela completely lost her mind and started laughing so hard she fell out of frame. And we did that thing where she'd get it together and then she'd make a sound that triggered me to start laughing hysterically again. And no one else knew what was going on. You guys were like good boys and girls trying to answer the question and talking it out. And finally someone looks up and goes, "Where'd Carmela go?" Because she's laughed herself out of frame. And when we finally got our act together, see, Jonathan, I didn't swear. I'm like, yeah, it's either Snuffleupagus or Cookie Monster. And all of a sudden, Carmela, dead sober, it's Cookie Monster. That's who it is. So I remember this clearly because as soon as I texted you about it yesterday, I put it on just to listen and remember what the context of it was. And I pulled into my parking lot before y'all actually revealed the answer. So I don't know what the answer is, but I'm pretty sure after all that, we did get it right. But honestly, who knows? There's no way to tell.
You did.
I remember that moment only truly for wanting to know what your Snuffle opinion was. That became a whole line of its own.
It got weird.
And that's also not the first time I've ever fallen out of my chair laughing while recording the show.
Well, your last question in the round is in the category of another funny Greek guy that went extinct from laughter.
Oh, boy.
Greek philosopher Chrysippus is said to have once made a joke about a donkey eating figs and then laughed at his own joke until he died. Ironically, Chrysippus is best known as a founder of what school or type of philosophy?
That's not how you spell that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, let's lock it in.
We're locked in.
All right, Nikki, you want to go with that?
Yeah, let's lock it.
All right, we're locked in.
I remember this from my intro to philosophy class. I just couldn't get it out fast enough for you.
Oh, I like it.
Do you like it?
I like it.
I think you're being very stoic about this, as a matter of fact.
And yes. In fact, weirdly enough, one of my first in AOL instant messenger names back when I was cool was Stoic Mysterian. It was supposed to be super ironic because you know me, I am Giggle Fest 3 stacks over here, but
only 3?
3 stacks, 3,000.
Yeah, she's 3 giggles in a trench coat.
And we might have killed Chris with my lack of stoicism. I will give that 3 out of 3, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. Right. We can do it.
We were locking in with he was a stoic. We're going to lock in with stoicism.
All right. Z and C Trivia Factory is now 3 giggles in a trench coat. 3,000. 3 giggles in a trench coat. So you're the 3 giggles and he's the trench coat. Got it. All right.
I thought it was 3 giggles in a trench coat.
That is what I said.
In
a trench coat.
All right. So let's go Erin and Nick.
Spoonerism, stoicism. We're anxiously awaiting the next question that starts with S and ends in ism. So we also went with stoicism.
Carmela and Ben.
So Waco has a lot of philosophy books in the house because he reads a lot of them.
I'm shocked to hear that.
And the ones he's been reading lately are about stoicism, and I'm like, it would be pretty ironic if a stoic laughed himself to death. So yeah, we went with stoicism.
All right, Jonathan, Nikki.
There are 2 isms that I was starting with as a guess. I figured it was either going to be Epicureanism or Stoicism. Epicureanism is pleasure. So he could have, somebody who just legitimately, they were enjoying themselves so much that they died from it. But no, if it's ironic, then it's got to be the other one. So we said Stoicism.
Well, everyone picked up on the hints and everyone gets points. Stoicism is correct.
All right.
Yay!
I am pleased.
Jazz hands.
And terrifying.
All right, let's start off with round 3. And for this one, I picked. Oh, sorry. Good point. Yeah, score check. Jonathan, Nikki in the lead with 60, and everyone else 50 points. 3-way tie for second.
So you're saying that Jonathan and Nikki are pitching a perfect game right now? Interesting.
Yeah,
Very interesting that they're going for a perfect game.
That's a skill.
I love the jinx getting thrown out there, Chris. That's a veteran move right there.
Yeah.
Was this the end of the first round?
Second
round. Okay, I was like, oh my gosh, are we moving that slowly? Okay.
The answer is yes. Yes, we are.
So we're starting off with round 3, and I picked my own memory for this mainly because I needed to round out the categories. So the one I picked out is from one of my earliest appearances on the show, trivia, the quarterfinals of the listener tournament.
Oh God. In the 50s.
Trivial Warfare 56. Yes. That's where I trivia playing genius finalist in that tournament soundly defeated some schmuck that was even lucky to be on. Yeah, Jeffrey Sag or Sig. I forget. Sigriton. Is that how you pronounce? I can't remember how you pronounce it. Yeah, I forget how you pronounce that guy's name, but no,
only one of your best friends in the entire world.
I completely squeaked that out. It went to wagers at the end, and only because he wagered 2 points versus me betting everything's the only reason I moved on.
This is Jeffrey's origin story, by the way.
Yeah, this is Jeffrey's. That's what I was going to say. Is this is the reason, because he lost to a stupid hillbilly back in 2016. He got so angry that he decided to never sleep and never stop studying trivia ever again.
And thank you for your contribution.
Yeah, you're welcome, world. That's the reason Jeffrey Siguratan is the maniac that he is now when it comes to trivia. But with all of that being said, your category for the first question of round 3 is man versus machine.
That's well done. That's well done.
That's solid.
What American folklore figure who has a statue dedicated to him in Summers County, West Virginia, was said to have won a steel driving contest versus a steam-powered drill, but died shortly after his victory. He also shares a name with the principal owner of the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, big lock.
Yeah.
We're locked.
Locked in.
Say those beautiful words.
We're locked in.
Is that everybody? Everybody's locked in?
Ooh, dare I
Hold
say
on,
3, 2, 1?
I don't know if that's true.
I think it's us.
Oh, my bad.
I'm pretty.
Feel free to talk it out.
I'm pretty confident that's the answer, Ben. But okay.
Yeah, we're good with that. We can lock in.
I mean, do we want a 3, 2, 1 this? Does everybody have their answer?
4-way 3, 2, 1 here?
Sure.
All right. Well, 3, 2, 1.
John
Henry.
John Henry, the steel driving man.
Yes.
Everybody gets points.
With this 50-pound hammer.
Yep, down in Talcott, West Virginia, near the railroad tracks, near the tunnel, is a huge statue of John Henry.
Do you guys also have a plumbing company named John Henry by you? Or is this a regional thing? Okay.
That might be a regional thing.
Here. John Henry.
I was going to say, I thought it was weird that the Boston Red Sox owner is named Mothman.
For our second question in round 3, Carmela, you had dropped me a note about your memory of a show that I was on as a contestant, Trivia Warfare 122, The Legend of Milky Steve.
Yes.
God.
Yeah. So when Scott asked me about this, and again, I'm so sorry about getting into you so late, but so I was thinking about like, okay, I know I've done shows with Scott. Let me think about ones with Scott. And then I remembered this one, and it was a show. It was me, you, Jonathan, and Bill Patchak. And this is pre-husband, pre-father Bill Patchak, because this is 2016, 2017. This is the original studio in Jonathan's living room. He was drinking a drink, and Jonathan had walked off. I think you were going to the restroom or something. And so we were asking Bill about his drink, and he was like, oh, yeah, it's like, I forget what it is. It's like coconut rum and milk. And I don't really like milk that much. So I was just like, ugh. I'm like, it sounds like it tastes like suntan oil. But, and he told us it's called a Milky Steve. And so like Scott and I are like laughing, and Jonathan comes back and goes, what's going on? And in the way that only Scott Barber can, he like deadpans. He goes, Milky Steve, you gonna drink some of that?
I remember telling Jonathan, I was like, hey, Jonathan, you go into the bar and someone says, hey, I'm gonna go get you a Milky Steve. You drinking that? How about that? Does that sound good? Does that sound like something you're really going?
No. It sounds awful. But I also made Bill Patchak choke on that Milky Steve later on in the episode, because he was not expecting me to sing Hell on Heels by Pistol Annies. So I do remember that too. But I mostly remember it because just because it birthed an unfortunate legend. And it was, I hadn't known Scott very well at that point. It was still really early in the show. And of course, Scott is one of my favorite people in the whole world. So Bill has gone on to, like I said, get married, have a kid, and has a very successful online trivia league.
Yeah,
and,
we love it.
So we have not only grown as a show, we've grown as a community altogether. And I love that. So
he choked on his own Milky Steve.
Yeah.
He literally did a spit take.
He was not
Like
expecting
literally had to stop the show and clean up around him because he had literally spit.
He had Steve's milk coming out of his nose.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Now you said that was pre-parenthood, but I feel like that's good preparation, like cleaning
That's
up.
very
milk,
much so.
it up.
I was going to say, yeah, Scott, you want another memory? The first After Dark I hosted just showed up in my head.
Wait on that.
So your second question in round 3 is from the category, you know what else tastes like suntan lotion? Suntan lotion.
It's true.
See, the theme came through. I had no idea the category name.
In 2019, the FDA started classifying UV filter molecules found in sunscreen into 3 categories. Those which are GRACE, that's GRASE, which is good. Those which are non-GRACE, and those which require further evaluation. GRACE is an acronym that stands for Generally Recognized as What and What.
Ooh, I like it.
Cool.
Go for it.
Luckin'.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, Ben, you're not wrong.
You're talking on mute.
Asking a black dude about suntan lotion. I mean, come on now. like I use that.
Benjamin.
You see how dark I am? I do not need protection from the sun. It's built in.
You see how pale I am? I don't ever go outside.
I like your okay. Yep. You can lock that if you're cool with it.
Like, okay.
The reason why I haven't typed in yet, Zahkia, just to let you know, is because my emoji thing has been on. And so yeah. So I've been typing in the emoji.
We're locked in.
You sure, Nikki?
I'm talking about yours.
I know. Are you sure?
No.
Would you like some beads of nothing?
Got him.
Oh crap. The dreaded ore.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Let's lock that, okay?
We're locked in.
All right. I think I just leave Jonathan and Nikki.
Yes. Yeah, Jonathan and Nikki, it's all yours.
Oh, we are trying to think of words that start with S and E.
My favorite so far is Nikki's last answer, spreadable and edible.
But you also said safe and edible. And I like edible because of the what else tastes like suntan lotion. Like the edible makes sense because you could eat it.
I mean, safe seems possible.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of something like solar or something to do specifically with sunscreen. But yeah, I like safe and edible. I think that's the best that we've come up with so far. And when I say we, I mean, you came up with that. So thank you.
Okay, we're going to say safe and edible.
Carmela and Ben.
I may have misunderstood the question because I completely forgot about the taste like suntan lotion. So I went with the sun angle and said solar energy. So, and I couldn't think of anything else, like literally anything else.
All right, Chris and Zahkia.
So I had thoughts about this.
And good thoughts.
I think they were good thoughts. Yeah, they're good, right? So when I read Grace, generally recognize, I was thinking safe for the environment because safe for environment because I was thinking, I know that there are some sunscreens that are banned in Hawaii for protection of the coral reefs. And then I read the question again and I said, it says what and what. So we didn't think about eating sunscreen because ew. But we went with safe and effective.
Ooh, that's a good E word.
Because some are inert, but that's beyond the point.
Yeah, but then that's the you know what tastes like suntan lotion just As soon as you guys said that, I just put the crap emoji in our chat. So yeah.
All right, Erin and Nick.
Yeah, you guys said edible, and I'm like, ooh, that might be a good answer. And then I asked Nick if we can make drinks at halftime. But it's unrelated. Yeah, similar reasoning to Zahkia. I was worried you were going to make us spell out the whole acronym, which would have been terrible. But yeah, it's good thing. So generally recognized as what and what are two good things. And Nick said safe and safe and effective just went together in my head like peanut butter and jelly, which is also edible. So hopefully that's not edible. But yeah, that's what we locked in with, safe and effective.
Also, is sunscreen generally recognized as edible?
I think maybe it won't kill you if
like
you
non-toxic.
Right. Yeah.
You got kids. I don't.
Technically, you could eat anything.
Yeah, if you try hard enough.
Once.
We should probably clarify that Nick and Erin don't live together, but they keep making references to doing things together here during the day. So Erin went up to visit Nick for this recording
and we live close by.
Right.
But let's just be honest. She went up there to see Nick's wife more than see him.
Well, no. I mean the Dustin and Brooke are in town. So we're having dinner over here with Dustin and Brooke and Erin and Rachel Schumann and Kent and
you're gonna meet up. Well,
I would think you were gonna have dinner with them, but we're gonna still be recording.
Right? Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
So let's keep going.
Well, you remember how earlier in the episode we were talking about how when you hear things like the mugs, and it's like, oh, that's your mug shot. That's really brilliant. And then as soon as I heard you say safe and edible, I was like, oh, I see where they would get that from the clue, because I'm an idiot and didn't put that together, because the answer is safe and effective. Nice. That's an unintentional red herring for me. I greatly apologize.
Red
Not
with
that much.
2 Ds.
Go Z.
With 2 Ds at the end. Yeah, that's very good.
Go Z.
Wear your sunscreen.
Don't eat it.
Don't eat it.
Don't eat it.
Also,
Does
I want to
anybody
say,
have
I
a
don't
pee?
Protect your inside.
please don't go eat your sunscreen.
So, Chris's congratulations. Your kibosh on the perfect game is has
complete.
So for the last question of round 3, Jonathan, you had sent me a message about earlier episode than even what I was talking about, which is Trivial Warfare 54, Black Don't Crack. When you were talking about how Mr. and the Habs basically broke you from a game that Ben was hosting.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you went and pulled it. It wasn't. I thought 54. The title was Break Stuff.
I have. Let me double check that, but let me triple check that.
In my mind, it's Break Stuff.
Like Limp Bizkit? Break Stuff?
Give me something to break.
I forgot you're like a new metal guy, aren't you, Nick?
No, I'm more pop punk than I am new
Okay.
metal. But yeah, it's my era.
No, according to episode I have here, TW500 Black Don't Crack is the title.
Okay. Well, I just remembered it wrong then. So this is the moment where essentially was ready to toss a table and just got up and started just moving around in significant anger because of missing something that was just so clearly ready for me. And I remember Ben's reaction, even in the moment when I'm angry, breaking me inside because it made me want to laugh so hard, because Ben's like, this is serious. He's mad. He looks like he wants to break stuff. And I remember, even in the moment of being so frustrated, that made me want to laugh. It was so funny to me.
What was funny is you were playing like a 1v2. This is you were playing against a pair of brothers, and you were still winning, and you were still doing really well, and you were still this upset. The funny part. Wow. Funny part that when I went back and re-listened to it, that was funny. And one of the questions was about the Habs, the Montreal Canadiens, and you said, you and the other guest had said that the H stood for Habs because that's her nickname. But in fact, round 3, question 3, in the category of the H stands for hockey.
I do remember another time that you actually got up out of your chair in anger from a question, and that was
absolutely
the one that sticks out clearly in my mind. And it's from early days. Is it was about the first Hall of Fame class for baseball.
Yes.
Like you, because of the people who were in there or that weren't in there, and you had gotten up and you had walked clear into the kitchen, like almost to the windows, like you were just like, I have to not be in front of this microphone right now. Like, okay, sorry.
I think there are multiple instances, and now maybe getting all jumbled up, because there is an episode 112 that is Break Stuff. Scott, I'm glad you went back and listened to it, because I would have thought it was that one. Yeah, there's definitely been multiple moments where hilarity has ensued, and this is wonderful advertising for the Facebook feed, by the way. All of these episodes that you can't get anywhere else are available by going to trivialwarfarearmy.com and signing up as a sergeant or higher.
You can hear Jonathan Lewis's "You Know What."
Yep.
I believe the Ben quote is Jonathan is going to get up and destroy something valuable.
Yes.
Yes.
That's it.
So in the category of the H stands for hockey, round 3, question 3. Your question is, on April 18th, 1999, before a regular season NHL game between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New York Rangers, the singer of the Canadian national anthem and the singer of the American national anthem both changed the words of their respective songs to include the name of what player who was on the ice for both songs?
For both songs. I thought you said on the ice for both sides. And I'm like, I don't think that's legal.
That's that baseball catcher that played for the Sox and the Jays.
Right. There's still 2 different games.
2 different dates, same game. I know we're being distracting.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Lock it in.
We'll lock in.
All
right, we're locked in.
See, I have all of this knowledge about baseball, all this knowledge about football, bit of knowledge about basketball, and just itty bitty about hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And hockey is also a sport.
Erin, aren't you the Rangers fan?
Yeah, we're locked in.
Yeah, we're already locked in. We locked in fast.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Super fast.
By the way, how many times typing did it take you to write his first name? Like 87? Because
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I just
okay.
wrote it and didn't care.
Is that a 30-second warning, Kit? You're muted.
You're muted, by the way, Kit.
Yeah.
I've been making such hilarious jokes. About 1 minute. Well, now it's 30 seconds.
All right, we're gonna lock.
Are we last?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
everybody else is locked in. Okay, I was just putting in the chat that I think Mark Messier was Canadian, so I mean that might make more sense. And if Erin got it, it would have been a Ranger, and Mark Messier is a Ranger. So I mean there's that. So I don't really have any other context, help, or anything like that. I'm sure I'm sure all that information that's in there is perfect, but I got nothing. We got to lock in an answer. So you okay with that?
Let's lock, yeah.
All right. So Scott, we're locking in with Mark Messier.
Okay. Carmela and Ben.
Well, I still don't know anything about hockey. So Ben did come up with the answer. He's not currently in his chair, or else I'd have him give the answer. Because I don't even know if I can pronounce this. But we went with Jaromir Jagr.
No, Jaromir Jagr.
Jagr. Mr. Jagr.
He was jogging that morning.
Oh, there's Ben.
Soft jog.
But thank you, Ben. We went with Jagr.
Now, Chris, Jaromir Jagr has soft J's.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
That's
Jonathan.
true. That's
Very true, Jonathan.
All right, Jonathan, you and Nikki, tell me your answer.
I was trying to find a way to fit something. I don't know a player who played for both of those teams. I'm not going to get it that way. So I was trying to figure out a way to fit it into the songs. And there is, I'm not sure about the Canadian anthem, but in the U.S. national anthem, there's "And the Rockets Red Glare." And there's a Canadian hockey player named Maurice Richard. And so we thought maybe it could be "And the Rocket Richard." Da, 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 da. So we said Richard.
All right. And that takes us to Nick and Erin.
Those were a lot of good answers. This one was a bit of a stumper. We landed, and Nick said, hockey player question, go with Gretzky. And we did go with Gretzky for the following reasons. I believe pretty sure he was retired by then. I would have said 93, but I think, Nick, you're right. I think it was later.
He was playing
than
for the Kings in the late 90s.
Yeah, he was around forever. Time has no meaning. But the reason I'm content with our answer is because you don't typically sing the Canadian national anthem at a game with no Canadian teams playing. So it makes sense that it would be a Canadian player. He played for the Rangers. He didn't play for the Pens, but I was thinking maybe it was his league-wide jersey retirement or something, and they, for whatever reason, decided to use that particular game. Scott didn't specify what arena it was at, which would have been nice, but he didn't. So we did say Gretzky. And as a side note, Jaromir Jagr announced, I think yesterday, he is retiring at
officially
64. Yeah, however old.
Yeah.
By the way,
He was winning championships with the Penguins in the early 90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also 1999, that could have been a clue for Gretzky's freaking jersey number. Yeah.
That's the bottom line was she mentioned Gretzky, and I go, hey, it's a hockey question. Go with Gretzky. That's the highest percentage chance.
When you do have a hockey question, it is very good in general to answer Wayne Gretzky as an answer. I'll give you that. April 18th, 1999 was his last ever game. And the anthem for the Canadian side went, instead of "Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee," went "We're going to miss you, Wayne Gretzky." And on the American side was or the land of Wayne Gretzky and the home of the brave is the way they shoehorned it in. They both shoehorned them in terribly, but I've never known a player to ever have the national anthem for two countries changed to put his name in it, which made this sort of memorable. But the answer is the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, makes sense.
Dang it.
And April 18th would have been the last regular season game for those teams. Could you imagine what would have happened? What would happen in a post 9/11 world if someone changed the lyrics to the national anthem at a sporting event? Especially that court.
No.
But in general, like I could not imagine doing that in this day and age. Sorry, that's my aside.
Also, still an easier question than Daryl Sittler.
But I remember that.
Just I'll throw that out there.
How do you know I don't have Daryl Sittler queued up for later on in the game?
Next question.
If you do, you do. We should all know it by now.
Going into halftime, we have Erin and Nick in the lead. with
Hey!
80 points. Jonathan, Nikki, and Chris and Zahkia both with 70, and Carmela and Ben with 60.
All right.
So that takes us to the midpoint. Your midpoint is in Televisiones.
TV.
Television.
As of this recording, there are 5 primetime television series in the United States that have over 500 episodes for the show's entire run. 3 of them are currently still in production. For 4 points each, please name them.
Scripted. Okay.
Sorry, are we naming the 5 or the 3?
5. 4 points each. 5.
Cool.
All right, we're locked in.
50-second warning. 5 seconds.
5?
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
I also gave a 50-second warning.
Yeah.
And that's
That's if you're okay with it,
All
I'm typing our answers in.
We're locked in.
Yeah. I just let's just go with.
Okay. Okay. Scott and Kit, ours are now officially entered in.
Yeah. Do you want to just say those 4 and Bonanza and hope one of them is wrong about it still being on the air?
Yeah. Okay. So we have South Park, we have The Simpsons, we have Law and Order. All 3 of those are still on. Then we'll go with Bonanza and Gunsmoke. Is that it? Is that our 5? Okay.
I think it has to be. Our dad's going to yell at us.
Okay.
All right. Jonathan and Nikki.
We said Simpsons, South Park, Gunsmoke, CSI, and NCIS.
Chris and Zahkia.
Yeah, we went back and forth quite a bit. The reason why we didn't put South Park, or I didn't put South Park on there, even though it's been around for like 26 seasons, is that they only do about 12 to 15 episodes a season. They don't do a full 22 to 24 episodes like a lot of the other shows do. But Bonanza, and it may be Gunsmoke, I may have mixed the 2 up. It's one of the earlier Westerns, but we put Bonanza, SVU, meaning Law and Order SVU, The Simpsons, the OG Law and Order, the original one, which I believe it just crossed its 500th with its second iteration. And then finally we put NCIS because it's on its season 21, for goodness sakes, and still out there.
All right. Ben and Carmela.
Yeah, so we went with The Simpsons. SVU is like the longest running television show still in production. So we said Law and Order SVU, original Law and Order, Grey's Anatomy, and what was the last one we said? Gunsmoke.
Dang it. I may have mixed up Gunsmoke and Bonanza, Zahkia.
Oh, it's fine. I called it Bonzana when I was trying to type to you.
Right. Me too.
All right. Kit, you think you're good with what we got scoring wise? Okay, good.
Yes, and I'll read them out to you after you read the right answers.
Sure. So just missing the cut in what I call the 400 Club, Family Guy, which has 424 episodes present. Grey's Anatomy, which has 430.
That felt like forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's still on.
Yeah, they haven't done the finale yet. It's still on the air.
I've said this before. Meredith Grey is going to become a doctor, have her entire career, and retire in real time.
Is that kind of like how MASH was? The show was longer than the Korean conflict.
Yes,
by 4 times.
Yeah,
4 times. It was a 12 season for 3-year conflict.
Next on the list of the 400 Club, Bonanza, 431 episodes.
Gunsmoke, I hate you.
And 435 episodes. We have The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet.
Oh yes, yep.
Ran from 1952 to 1966. And the last of the 400 Club, NCIS, 467 episodes.
Wow,
so close.
So your 700 or your 500 Club, rather, is Law and Order original flavor. 1990 to present, 501 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just like as of this episode.
Just did it. Yep.
Yep.
Technically correct.
Technically correct is the best kind of correct. Law and Order SVU, which ran from 1999 to present.
Yeah.
551 to present.
551. Okay.
Yep.
Ooh.
The one that nobody even talked about. I thought this one might trip people up. Lassie.
I didn't realize Lassie was on that long.
I didn't realize it was prime time.
1954 to 1971, 591 episodes.
I mean, how many times did Timmy fall down the well?
591 times.
They went through a few Timmys.
Yeah.
So,
And a few Lassies.
it's also so many times they had to dig a bigger well.
Right, yeah.
Because he kept growing.
They definitely went through more Lassies than Timmy.
Although fun fact, I believe every dog that has portrayed Lassie, like any kind of like the TV show and any like made for TV movies since then, have been part of the same lineage of collies. They have all been related.
I want a movie. I want a Lassie Ren 1010 crossover movie.
With Cujo.
Guest starring Cujo.
Old Yeller makes a guest.
Where the red fern grows.
Big Dan and Little Ann. Yeah.
Benji the Dinner.
You need a hood
Marley in
version.
there at the end. While we're
You need
at
a hood version. Make it a pit bull and call him King.
I love it. Yes.
Your second longest show of all time, Gunsmoke, 1955 to 1975. And the longest running show in number of episodes ever, still cranking them out today, The Simpsons. From January of 1990 to present, 768 episodes.
Below 400 for South Park.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
right. It's like 12 a year.
Yeah, keep in mind, South Park also got canceled for a little bit in the middle there.
Oh, that's true.
Well, so did Family Guy.
And so did Family Guy.
Like the original kind of canceled, not the new kind of canceled.
While y'all were discussing your answers, at one point, Nick just says out loud, in the United States. And I think he was rereading the question, but in my mind, I'm like, you can't just go into the Law and Order intro. It's one of the answers.
Oh, that's so funny.
You said it with the exact tone and cadence.
No, it's honestly, because here was my thought process on that. I was thinking, how many episodes has Doctor Who had? And then I went back to the question and I read in the United States. So.
Well, I mean, this episode has been executive produced by Dick Wolf. So we were very fortunate to get him. He has a very busy schedule.
Yeah.
Ben and Carmela got 4 of them.
That's what I have.
Erin and Nick and ZNC both got 3.
Yay.
And Jonathan and Nikki got 2.
We did good, damn it.
How quickly things move after halftime. I have Carmela and Ben with 76 points. Jonathan and Nikki, 78 points. Chris and Zahkia with 82 points. And Erin and Nick with 92 points.
All right, anybody's game.
Round 4, question 1. Again, we're going right back in the same order we went last time. So, Nick, you had sent me a tidbit about a week earlier this year in 2024 where you had a streak of like 11 Trivial Warfare episodes. You'd hosted Things That Are Blank. You'd hosted an episode of, it was basically the Nick show for the entire.
Yeah. So, this was earlier in 2024. It was March, April or something like that. We were going through a period where I think I talked about this earlier in the show, where I hosted like 3 out of 8 in a row or 4 out of 9, I was on 11 shows in a row. And
Is that when the ratings dropped?
Yeah. And the week that was the 11th Trivial Warfare show that I was on, we also happened to do, Jonathan, a Counting Sheep episode. And we had Things That Are Blank that aired that week. And that was the week that I took over Blitz so that we could finish out the season of Blitz. So
you were bored in your real life.
And
you wanted to do all of this stuff.
And Foreplay was not airing at the time. So it was literally every show that was on the network was me. And I believe at the end of that week, Jonathan goes, I've been listening to the show a lot. I've asked Nikki Bates to come on with us and hopefully get you off of the air. She, I believe at that point, told Jonathan no. And then he had to go back later and convince her to come on. So.
Please, everyone is so tired of hearing Nick's voice. We need you so badly.
We need an extra syllable. We didn't want Nick. We wanted Nicky.
Right. Exactly. So, but it was fun for me to just literally every show that came onto the network was a show that I was on. I thought that was fun for me.
I even put in the metadata when I was writing this up. I'm sure Paul Puckett and the Trivia Hall of Fame is anxiously awaiting that microphone for their archives.
You're right. Yes. 100%.
So your first question in round number 4 is in the category of I Am Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Over the entire run of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the exact phrase I Am Iron Man was heard a total of 6 times, but only once by someone who was not Tony Stark. It was during the end credits scene from the first Iron Man movie. What Marvel character was the one to say, I am Iron Man, with a heavy stress on the I?
Want to lock in?
I'm ready to lock in.
All right, you can say it.
We're locked in.
All right, we're locked.
I'm gonna say, Zahkia, you've been doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Let me get the easy one.
Yeah.
No.
Are you knowing me?
No, it's knowing me.
Oh.
All right, we're locked in.
Jonathan and Nikki, feel free to talk it out.
Okay, Nikki, I might have it.
I mean, that makes sense.
So I've been reading the question and just trying to parse through it. And if it's in the end credit scene of the first Iron Man, the end credits of the first movies were all Nick Fury trying to recruit people to the Avengers. And Nick Fury has an eye patch.
I like that.
So it means the dude has one eye. And the spelling of heavy stress on the I, E-Y-E, and the spelling of the question leads me to think that
I love that logic. I think we should go with that.
all right, lock it in, Nick Fury. Not Nick Cage, which is what I wrote initially, and then said
Very
no.
confused by that.
All right, Carmela and Ben.
So we picked up on the I thing, and I'm like, oh, what is Sam Jackson's character's name? So I'm sitting there going, what is it? Fury!
Yeah.
So Nick Fury is what we said.
Chris and Zahkia.
Yeah, I didn't need the last part because I just remember the scene. But we said Nick Fury, and then I just said it's Samuel L. Jackson, mother fluffer. That's right. And it made Zahkia laugh, which is awesome.
Yes.
Hashtag just saying.
Yeah.
All right, Erin and Nick.
Yeah, first post-credit scene was Sam Jackson. The solid clue, Scott, on the visual EYE in the question that nobody on the show that's listening is going to get. And it's Nick's memory, so Nick Fury.
It was Nick's memory. It sparked the idea, and the idea of the Avengers was that of Nick Fury. Everybody gets points. Good job.
Yay! Points.
So Nick's favorite thing was about Nick, and then you wrote a question.
Yeah, that's on brand.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of that. That's exactly
It's very meta.
Together.
Now you know exactly where I was going with that question.
Thanks for
And it
giving
was
me
an
the
Iron
answer.
Man question, as Nick probably thinks of himself as a genius, philanthropist, playboy, billionaire, but
Only
I
millionaire.
definitely don't have $1 billion.
the rest of it, though, he's staying quiet on.
Now, I know we're not supposed to curse, but we all know what we're thinking right now. Right?
Everybody
We
said
know
it.
what you can do to yourself.
Everybody said it.
The hidden subtitle of him.
It's got to be whatever the title is, and then just colon, and then just leave it like space.
It'll be forever known as Nick's colon.
I did give Nick's wife Sarah a bracelet that said "Damn it, Nick."
You know what? I thought it was funny at first, but she's still wearing it on a daily basis.
She's got it on right now.
It's been like 3 months.
You know what else is funny, though, over the last few years, meeting people in person again, how many people love Nick that I get why I love Nick. I get why everybody calls.
So are we doing the bit or
like,
are we answering honestly?
Well, that's the thing is, like, a lot of people are just like, I'm just here to meet Nick Groves. And I'm like, why? You've heard him on the show, right?
It's just like that.
But no, even they see through.
They're just asking for money. That's why.
They're hoping he drops a 20 when he's walking away.
Your second question in round number 4, Chris. This is a memory that you shot me, and Jonathan also shot me something about this one too, from episode 200, the "Hold Me, Jonathan, I'm Scared" moment.
Yes. One of my favorite moments of the show for sure. I gave 3 of them. I was wondering which one was the second one you were going to do for me, Scott. And it was funny because before you asked this, Scott, I was thinking about reaching out to Jonathan to see if we could do the if I could come over and record with him, because I thought that would be kind of a fun little thing to do, very similar to what Erin is recording with Nick. Just time couldn't work out that way, unfortunately. But this was like, I remember I do not remember the question. Maybe Jonathan, you do or not, but it just, I usually sat next to Jonathan for whatever reason, when we recorded in his old house upstairs. And it was just, I just remember hugging him going, holy crap, this question's going to suck. I'm scared, man. I'm scared. Hold me, Jonathan. I'm afraid. And it's still one of my favorite memories of the show. It'll always be one of my favorite memories of the show.
It had to be the first round, and it might have been the first question or second question. And we were all reacting like, I can't believe we still don't know these things. It's so embarrassing.
This was going to be one of my memories if you two hadn't brought it up.
Yeah.
But it was the final round of the episode 200 because I revealed that I was pulling it from episode 100. And
the things that we got wrong.
You could potentially miss it 3 times.
Oh, 3 times. That's right. And I think I did, as a matter of fact. I believe I did.
It was similar, wasn't it?
It was about the type of fruit that.
That's right.
The newberry cherry.
There it is.
Cherry.
And I think I gave the same dang answer. That's the dumb part.
Well, your question 2 in round 4 is in the category of no newberry cherry this time.
Oh, thank God.
But rather a golden raspberry. The answer was raspberry on that one.
Yeah.
But your question today is, the Golden Raspberry Awards is a parody award show honoring the worst of cinema annually since 1981. In the history of the awards, one actor has the record for both most nominations and most wins, with 40 and 12 respectively. His most recent win came in 2024, where he took home the Worst Supporting Actor award for his work in the role of Barney Ross. He has also portrayed this same character in 3 previous films. Who is this actor?
Right. Okay, we're locked in.
We're locked in.
You guys aren't getting any background noise from me, are you?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, we are. Definitely got that one.
Your husband sounds weird. You okay there, Z?
Yeah, I love wild timing.
All right, Nikki, let's go ahead and lock in.
We're locked.
Okay.
We will lock in.
Chris and Zahkia.
Yeah, because the first one I said to you was Stallone, and I've got a feeling I think it's him, because he's just done so many bad movies throughout. It just wouldn't surprise me one bit, because 40 and then 12 wins. Holy crap. But then I remember The Expendables, because that had like every action person under the sun on it. And I think one just came out last year or the year before or something like that. So that would kind of meet the 2024 standard.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any of them, so I don't really know. If I think of bad actors, I think of Sylvester Stallone. That's like one of the first people I automatically think of. Am I telling lies? Am I telling any lies?
If you were to tell me to name a bad actor, Stallone would not be the first on my list. It would be Steven Seagal, but I get what you're talking about.
Valid point.
I like Stallone. I can see him being.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to pick on him then if you like him. You have for the answer.
I mean, for the answer. I don't know the guy personally. He seems fine.
Okay.
But I also think I like him mathematically just because of the number of franchises he's been in. And none of the franchises are really super, like, highly
intelligent. Yeah.
Yeah, and for some reason, Cliffhanger is on the brain to me recently. So let's just go with.
Yes, I love that movie.
Let's just go Stallone.
Yeah, that movie was terrible. All right.
Yeah.
So our guess / answer, Scott, is Sylvester Stallone.
Not
to be confused with the popular character on Growing Pains, Sylvester Stallone.
Jonathan and Nikki.
Nikki, I feel like I invented a whole backstory for why our answer could be right.
A little game theory.
in the last question, I mistyped Nick Cage for Nick Fury. And then both of us were like, wait, National Treasure? And then I was like, is the conceit like Barney Ross is like Betsy Ross's great-great-great-grandson and is National Treasure? And we don't know any better. We don't know who it is, but we do believe that Nick Cage could be nominated that many times and have that many wins. So we said Nick Cage.
All right. Carmela and Ben.
I was thinking about like, okay, so bad movies and, something that's in a franchise. And I was like, what if it's like one of those really bro-y like action movies like The Expendables? And that's how we got to Stallone. Stallone's in one of my favorite like quote unquote bad B movies I'd love to watch with my mom. It got like critically panned, but we love it for some reason, called Oscar, and it's got like him and Tim Curry and Chaz Palminteri and all them. So we ended up going with Stallone.
Brian McClure loves that movie also.
Mm-hmm.
Loves that movie.
All right. Aaron, Nick.
Nick Cage's name in National Treasure is Benjamin Franklin Gates. So,
well, then it's not Barney Ross, is it?
It's not Barney Ross, no. We kind of had the same conversation as everybody else. Stallone's been nominated like a billion times. I have no idea how many times he's won it, but it's as good an answer as any. So we said
that
Stallone.
Is not the same conversation we all had.
Okay. Well, we had a much more intelligent conversation than these other people had with actual information and factual help.
Well,
and we said Stallone.
For his work in Expendables 4, the man who played Barney Ross won his record-setting 12th Golden Raspberry Award. It is Sylvester Stallone.
Huzzah.
Dang.
Nice.
All right. Your last question in round 4, Zahkia. It's funny. What's funny is Zahkia actually saw in the crosstalk said, "Oh no, the two memories I gave were both about butts."
Yes.
I said, well,
it's on brand.
I think it's on brand. But sure enough, 460 Cacino, you were talking during the gauntlet about your only knowledge of the Dave Matthews Band, right?
And for those who listen, Cochino in general is a filthy episode, Nick Groves.
Only if you interpret it the way that Zahkia does.
And everyone else on Earth.
Well, if we're talking about Dave Matthews Band, let's like hike up your skirt a little more and show your world to me.
Yeah. But that's not even the disgusting thing about Dave Matthews Band. It was all involving poop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that story.
Yes.
The bus story.
Yes, the bus story and how that
okay.
And how that came up. I feel like everyone learned about it at that particular moment. But also how me and my partner end up, I think it was Craig, right? That ended up winning that game without even just with a stupid answer. My brain wiped like a good 2 times in that episode. Just like I did not know what was happening at all. And I could hear the record scratch. But yes, I love when things devolve to poop. So,
you and Lauren.
Comes down to
You
poop.
and Lauren, yeah.
Well, if that's what you love, then you're going to get a hefty dose of it here.
Load.
Nice.
If you will. You'll get a busload of it, I guess, if we're talking about Dave Matthews. Because
Big dunk.
Your third question, round number 4, is, and now a question about some of Dave Matthews Band's greatest.
Oh, God.
No, but yes, but no.
August 8th, 2024 marked the 20-year anniversary of the Dave Matthews Band Chicago River tour bus incident. And according to a CBSNews.com article, a documentary about the memorable moment in American poop culture is in the works. What is the current working title of this film, which borrows heavily from the name of a critically panned 2008 M. Night Shyamalan science fiction thriller that didn't even make it to number 2 at the U.S. box office during its opening weekend?
We're locked in.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, do that. Lock it in. Lock it in. Lock it in.
All right,
If that's not right, it should be. If that answer's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Oh, I made myself laugh with that one.
We know.
And
Nick, it must be great to be able to constantly live with your own biggest fan. By which I do not mean your wife or children.
Yeah. Do you want to lock with that, Chris? Okay. We're going to lock. Okay.
1 minute timer.
Love it. Love it, Zahkia. I love it. Air 5.
Woo! Oh, down here. Woo! There you go.
10 seconds.
Is there somebody else who's not locked in?
Oh, are you guys all locked in?
No, we're not.
We're not. And I'm trying to figure out if we should be talking.
Well, time's up, so.
Yeah, I don't think Ben and Carmela did.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, we locked in first.
Nikki, we named 3 things. Which one are you going to go with?
I like sewage for the word.
You like sewage? What?
For of the choices that we were talking about, big fan of sewage.
All right, we're gonna say sewage. The sewage in the water.
All right.
I liked the poopy in the water better. Personally.
ZNC Trivia Factory. What do we got?
So I started off saying, if the answer is the lady in the water, I will never stop laughing, right? Because what? And then Chris and I are going back and forth naming M. Night Shyamalan movies. I said The Village, and then he said The Happening, which is really, really good. And then like, oh, we're about to go with that. And like wait a minute.
Well, then I said The Last Airbender, which I thought was fantastic as well.
Oh, God.
And that movie was a fiery piece of crap anyway, so I thought that was perfect.
That was indeed perfect. Forgot about that. Nice. And then I remembered the name of the boat is The Little Lady. So we went back to Lady in the Water. Not is it funny, it's relevant because it's, the little lady in the water. So
sure.
Lady in the Water.
Carmela and Ben.
The poo in the stew.
I think because The Lady in the Water was out when I still worked at the movie theater, which would have been pre-2008. So I don't think it's that. But I do remember seeing this movie. I do remember it being bad. And I do remember it having Mark Wahlberg in it. So we said The Happening.
All right. Erin and Nick.
So we went similar route. We started naming, The Village, Sixth Sense. And I said, well, it borrows heavily from, so it's probably a pun. We went Glass is maybe it's called ass. We went with Unbreakable, and we went with Unpoopable. And then we ended up with The Happening, and we locked in with The Crappening.
That's good. I wish I could come up with that. The Shattering.
In June of 2013, this movie did open up number 3 in the box office overall. And the movie was The Happening, but the title of the new film is The Crappening.
Wow. Sorry, Ben. I didn't get that I had to change the word.
No.
Oh,
you're good.
Guys.
Get that? Yeah, we didn't get that either, but now I see it.
After 4 rounds, I have Jonathan and Nikki with 88 points. Carmela and Ben with 96 points. Chris and Zahkia with 102. And Erin and Nick with 122.
Wow.
Is that the biggest number?
Clean sweep.
Yeah, it's the biggest
yes.
Hell yeah.
Clean sweep of round number 4. Takes us to round 5. Round 5, Ben, your memory comes from a special episode, the Sports Movie Bracket Challenge.
Oh, yes.
When Chris Hollister threw Kel Sowers straight into movie hell.
Yeah, and Scott, it was all your fault.
It was my fault.
Oh,
hold
100%.
on. It was a little bit. No, it wasn't 100%. It was partially Kel's fault. Kel is a chaos agent. I just happened to be the catalyst to Kel's craziness.
So you know how they say guns don't kill people, people kill people? Everybody knows Kel is a gun. Okay, so like the fact that you cocked and loaded it, I'm still blame you. Okay,
I got broad shoulders. I can take it.
Yeah, for those unfamiliar, we did a sports bracket on the greatest sports movies of all time, and the conversation quickly devolved towards the second half of the episode into We Are Marshall being catapulted up the ranks due to Scott being the biggest homer of all time, and Scott was doing this I think obviously because he was biased, but also because he knew that it was triggering the group. And Kel just completely enabled that in a way that pissed Chris off in a way that only Kel can, because they have a very unique relationship.
Look at him.
It's been literally years.
Yes.
And he's still angry about it. And that makes me so happy.
Like, Kel being sent to movie hell is one of the greatest. That's going to be part of all of our legacies for the rest of our lives with this show. That is just one of those iconic moments that happened in podcast history.
It was one of my favorite moments. It's one of my prouder moments is pushing Kel to the point where it drove Chris insane.
And this is why Scott and I get along.
It's one of many reasons.
Chris is literally yelling at Kel. He's like, "You go to movie hell.
You can go to hell, Kel. Huh? You can go to movie hell. You can go straight to movie hell." God, that was so good.
Oh my God.
So your first question in round 5 is from hell to the home of Matthew McConaughey, who starred, as everyone knows, starred in the greatest sports movie of all time, We Are Marshall.
Which when he was, I'm just going to cut in right here real quick with my little anecdote, which was my cousin was attending Marshall when that was filming.
Oh, wow.
He was an extra, but he doesn't know what extra he was because he was just various members of the opposing teams on different taping days. But anyway, he met Matthew McConaughey during the filming, and his description of him was small and smelly.
Yeah, I've heard the smelly thing a bit. Yeah.
Yep, I have heard that.
Wow. But that tracks. Yeah. But your first question of the round is, what former U.S. House representative, after losing his final bid for Congress in 1835, told his constituents that you may all go to hell and I will go to Texas? His move west would not see him live there long, however, as he was killed a few months later on March 6th, 1836, if I'm remembering it correctly.
All right, we're licked in.
You're licked in?
You heard him.
Liechtenstein?
I said what I said.
He's been saying that this whole time.
Yeah, I noticed too.
It's
I
Aaron's
just wasn't
fault.
giving him the satisfaction.
I typoed the word lock at the beginning 3 days ago.
And then changed the lock emoji to a tongue emoji.
Canon now.
Yeah, so that's just the way it is now.
No, it's like when you lick an envelope, like you're licking it in.
Right,
Like after
sealed.
you seal that
It's done.
envelope, you can't do anything.
Just FYI, our dinner guests are currently on their way. So
Carmela and I are locked in.
All right, we're going to lock in.
ZNC, you can talk it out.
Actually, I think we were about to lock in also.
Too slow.
Okay, that's a great line that you just totally need to say.
I'll wheel it in a little bit. So we're talking about the Alamo, right? Because March 6, 1836, that is remembering the Alamo, right?
Yep.
And we're talking about Davy Crockett. And I know there are a lot of people, Texas-related people that died there. And I think Davy Crockett did die there. I want to say either Houston or Austin did too, but Davy Crockett, I feel like, is stronger. And then, but like the problem with the Alamo, and I've been there, is that I can only remember like the Mexican parts. So like, like
I love the line.
like the Santa Ana, like and like the yellow roses. Like I know all the Mexican parts, not so much the Texas dudes. But I'm okay with Davy Crockett because I feel like that checks.
Okay, I remember I literally about a week ago watched a documentary on Davy Crockett. And at first I said Sam Houston, but then it hit me. I was like, no, wait, I know this. And I think it's Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. So
Davy Crockett. Yeah, I remember that song in the
that's
grip.
our final that's our final answer.
Okay.
All right. Jonathan, Nikki.
We both thought the piece at the end was a clue, and you connected it with the Alamo brilliantly. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, Austin and Houston were both Texans, but Davy Crockett went from Tennessee, where he was a congressman, to Texas. So Davy Crockett seemed like the right answer. So we said Davy Crockett.
All right. Carmela and Ben.
So I didn't know the answer to this, and I said to Ben, Alamo Reese Marshall. But then Ben had the actual answer. So Ben, why don't you talk to him about it?
Yeah, and this is fifth grade Alabama public school, I remember Davy Crockett dying at the Alamo from my 5th grade history class. And I'm like, West Virginia Mountaineers, that's one of the, I don't know if that's the official mascot, but that's one of the things that the fans wear is the coonskin hat dressed up like Davy Crockett. You know, Scott being from West Virginia, Davy Crockett, we went with that.
All right. Erin and Nick.
Just before Nick gives his answer, just want to point out Sam Houston was born in Virginia. So he died a Texan, but he's technically a Virginian. That's all. Nick had an answer. That's all.
Yeah, remember the Alamo. Remember the Alamo, Texas. Remembering it correctly is the clue. The Congress member. It's Davy Crockett.
Great clue, by the way, Scott.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I'm glad everybody picked up on it because everyone gets points. It is Davy Crockett.
Woo! Thank you, Ben.
Great job.
Woo!
All right.
Thank you,
Question number 2 in round 5. Nikki, you had made a note to me about your favorite memory from some of the Takeover episodes.
Yeah, we did a Saturday Night Live one. I got to bring my brother in to play with me on that one. That was very fun. We did one on fast food. And then we did the first one that I think was live streamed for Ben and his family. That was a really fun one, not only because it was meaningful, because we were doing that for Ben, but I also loved the live interaction with people who were in the chat and people were coming in to read questions live. It was a really fun back and forth.
Yeah, it was user submitted questions on top of it.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. That was fun. Hope to do more of that in the future.
So your second question in round 5 is from the category of an angrier type of takeover. A common example of a hostile takeover gone wrong happened in the year 2000 when Time Warner was purchased for around $183 billion by what online service provider? It's unclear as to whether Time Warner tried to cancel the deal after the CD upload they initially used expired.
We're locked in.
We are 100% locked in. I think we're all locked in.
All right, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
AOL.
AOL. Reminder to everyone, please put your ASL in the team names in the chat.
Every now and then, because I get all of my clients' emails and all my consults' emails, and every now and then I'll encounter someone that still has an honest-to-God AOL email address.
Yeah. That's adorable. I'm like, are you 75?
I'm not sending. I just know I'm not getting anything.
Yeah, no, Uncle Chip.
23. There it is. ASL. Good job.
23.
My uncle.
Isn't it amazing that literally they used to sell the internet on CDs?
It's amazing.
Yes.
And
Chris
you had
is trying to say
upload.
something.
Attach the magazines that you'd buy.
Uncle Chip had one until the day he died.
Wow.
Absolutely. It was ccoffee706 at AOL.com. If you write to that now, nobody will answer. And if he does answer, if he did, no, wait.
It's an entirely different issue.
If he does answer, please message me because I want to know more.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I will say if you send a message to most AOL.com email addresses, you're not going to get an answer.
Well, not my dad's.
The one. Up to and including the ones run by my clients who, when they have an AOL address, I don't send them stuff via email because they're not going to get it. Everything goes in the
Yeah.
I thought I was bad for still having a Hotmail address. Man.
You are.
I know
You are.
people
Yeah.
hanging
You
out.
shouldn't feel good about that.
I'm going to hold on to that to the day I die. I'm just telling you right now.
CompuServe right here, baby.
Prodigy.org.
Your last question, round 5. Erin, you had sent me a note from way back in Trivial Warfare 131 meeting Stacy McPeak on your first ever episode on the show.
Yeah. So obviously, it was my first ever episode as a player. I think I played. Maybe I hosted. I don't remember.
You played.
It doesn't. Okay. Thank you.
I just listened to it.
Oh, great. Was it any good?
It was great. You were fantastic.
I just remember meeting Stacy, a fellow attorney. She's Canadian. She's lovely. And Stacy and I are in a small but mighty group chat with a bunch of other people who met through the show. We still talk pretty much every day. It's one of the first places that I go when I have news, when I have something to share, when I've had a great day, when Orange Cat's poop doesn't come all the way out of his butt and I have to deal with it. There's 1 or 2 people that I let know right away what's going on and ask for help. And this group chat is one of those. And it just, you asked us to talk about memorable things about the show. And that it's, okay, we laughed and we got questions right, we got questions wrong. It feels really good. We can get a slam dunk question and all that, but there's nothing quite like the people that I have met that I wouldn't know other than this show, because we are from literally all over the world, literally all different ages. And, we got 23 male Florida down here. We got folks from all over who I am able to say are some of my best friends. And, I'll tell people I'm going to SporkleCon. And it's like, what are you going to the trivia convention for? And I was like, well, to play trivia because I do enjoy that, but also because the people that I know and love, this is our Christmas, this is our Thanksgiving, this is our family reunion. We get to see each other at these events. Oh, Nikki's making hearts. And the fact that one of my longest trivia friends and closest trivia friends, I think the only person I met in this sphere before that was Jonathan, who obviously is still a very, very dear friend. And he also gets my questions about Orange Cat's poopy butthole. But that first episode that I was on gave me a friend who is still one of my greatest trivia friends, is just remarkable. And Stacey's great. I mean, I keep saying her praises, but I think I've talked long enough. Yeah, she's wonderful.
That's funny. You mentioned going to SporkleCon. I call SporkleCon. It used to be Geek Bowl, and now SporkleCon's taken over for kind of everybody getting together. And every year, when I tell people who aren't in trivia community, I'm just like, it's nerd family reunion for me. Yeah. It's just opportunity for everybody to get together and see each other once a year. So I feel the same way. Yeah. And your final question in round number 5 is in the category of lawyers in love.
Oh, boy. It ain't about me, you guys.
But not the Jackson Brown style. What 2004 rom-com stars Pierce Brosnan and Julianne Moore as high-powered divorce attorneys that, spoiler alert, fall for each other in the end? The title of the film, however, is more likely to be associated more with spiritual ideology than with a legal term.
Okay. You want to lock in?
Yeah, let's lock.
We're locked in. I still like my first answer, though.
We will lock in. Hey, Nick, remember that time we were in the lead for a minute? That was fun.
Oh, no.
We're locked in.
Jonathan and Nikki, you can talk out loud.
For the next 43 seconds.
Nikki, something about like destiny, something about the belief that everything will go right in the end, or something about you'll find your one true love when you stop looking. Something like that.
Yeah.
Spiritual belief.
There was a movie called Leap of Faith, but that's Deborah Winger and Steve Martin. Ooh, I like something about destiny, but I don't know if I've heard of this.
No. I'm saying destiny. That's like time. It's your destiny to meet somebody. Yeah, it's time. All right, great. We're going to say just destiny.
Joint legal custody of Destiny's Child didn't really play well.
Holy crap. Nick and Erin, what do you think?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I am a divorce attorney, and I am fond of some of my colleagues, but I am not going to fall for any of them because lawyers are the worst people. I had no idea. So I said, hey, Nick, what Bond movies was Pierce Brosnan in? Let's make a joke. Why not? So we locked in with Lie Another Day. Because I didn't know.
Falling for you.
Oh, was he in that one?
Well, that's good.
It's just a Bond movie.
Yeah, that was Daniel Craig, right? Yeah. Anyway, we functionally had no idea.
No. All right.
We had fun.
Carmela and Ben.
Golden eye for detail.
So bad at this.
So I was, again, leaning back to when I worked at a movie theater, which would have been around this time. And I do remember there was a movie called Law of Attraction. Law of Attraction is what we wrote down. And I was like, well, that's kind of like, spiritual woo-woo stuff, laws of attraction. So that's what we locked in with.
Thomas Crown's Affairs.
Yes. It was also, I did think about Thomas Crown Affair, but I'm like, he was not a lawyer in that.
No, he was not. Nope.
All right. Chris Zahkia.
Yeah, I was just telling Zahkia, younger Chris liked the redheads. Now he just likes his wife. But I really had a big, big crush, still kind of do, with Julianne Moore. And so I saw this piece of crap movie, and I want my $8 back or whatever it was that I paid for it, still to this day. But we also put Laws of Attraction.
And your answer to that piece of crap movie as you so eloquently put it, because it did have really bad ratings on Rotten Tomatoes.
The premise is completely unbelievable.
And, well, it is a movie, so. But the film is called Laws of Attraction.
Woo!
Nikki, if I had 2 or 3 more minutes, we could have got there.
I thought you were going to Jonathan, for sure.
I also want to point out how Aaron Barkley is totally doing the Neil deGrasse Tyson. It was like, on like the accuracy of lawyer movies. Like, just wanted to point that out.
I mean, A, they're often wrong. And B, that's a horrific plot for a movie. And I'm texting my best friend saying, can we get a little high and watch this, please?
just a little high.
Just a little.
You need to get really high to watch this one. It's not great.
Flaming piece of crap.
Great.
And Julianne Moore.
After 5 rounds, we have Jonathan and Nikki at 108, Carmela and Ben at 126, Chris and Zahkia at 132, and Erin and Nick 144.
Oh,
hey, we're still winning.
That's amazing.
And only because it's Nick, I'll say that's gross. Because it's 144. Get it?
Yeah.
I get it. Mm-hmm. Good job.
Jokes are always funny when I have to explain them. Round 6.
It's a dozens.
Round 6. I'm going to open up with one of my favorite memories, and that is from early on 147 when Jonathan was kind enough to have my trivia team, the Sinister Six, on to have a game 3-on-3. Great time with all those guys. Shout out to the guys that I still talk to literally every day. But there was one particular question that Jonathan wrote that was really, really clever and inspired me to continue to try to be as clever as that. And I'm failing as obvious with this game, even to this day. And that was a question that we were struggling with about Russian scientists. And we just kept going back and forth about Russian scientists and what can we do? Because Jonathan had listed a list of names and they were involved in an experiment. And out of nowhere, Jeffrey Siguratan, that guy, again, says, well, what are some Pavlovs for Russian scientists? And I that's just said it flatly like that. And I immediately said, well, hold on. How about that one? Let's maybe start with that one right there. Pavlov. How about that for a good one? Is that maybe ringing a bell? I don't know.
I'm salivating just thinking about it.
all of this conversation.
Tired from all this.
All of the dog. Oh, I love it. All of this came out in the episode, and it was just like, oh, that's such a clever way to write that question. So kudos to Jonathan for the writing, and again, one of my all-time favorite memories from the show. So your first question in the final round is, which is what I did, stumbling upon answers from time to time. According to a Mental Floss article, as a university student, Ivan Pavlov's professor of inorganic chemistry was Dmitry Mendeleev, who is best known as the father of what widely used scientific reference tool?
Locked in.
Whoa.
Yep, go for it.
Cool.
Yeah, do you want to lock?
We are also locked in.
Say it, Zahkia. Say it.
That's
We're locked
everybody.
in.
Carmela and Ben, you want to talk it out?
I know this, but I don't know it.
I haven't finished reading the question. I'm sorry. Oh, these are Punnett squares, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Wait.
Is that?
Wait. That's mental. Mendeleev is it's the periodic table.
Yeah, let's go with that. It's like I say, when I hear it, I know it, but I can't say it.
I confuse Mendel and Mendeleev again. I do it all the time. It's the periodic table.
All right, we're locking in with that.
Zahkia and Chris?
I have to say, Ben, you cannot let the periodic table get the best of you once again. Okay?
Oh my God.
No, it's just one section of the table that bothers me. The rest of it is fine.
I'm still sad that Ben hasn't said his key phrase yet. So,
we're good. Yeah, Mendeleev, periodic table. My mom would disown me if I got it wrong. So,
Jonathan and Nikki.
You're not.
We also went periodic table of elements.
Right, Erin and Nick.
I don't think my mom cares enough to disown me if I didn't know it, but it is the periodic table. She might. I don't know.
She has plenty of other reasons. She doesn't have to focus on that one.
Oh yeah, dude. When I failed the bar for the first time and she didn't disown me, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Sure.
I can do whatever I want now.
Yeah, right. No rules.
Well, something that does happen from time to time is known as periodically. So the answer is periodic table.
Hey!
Periodic table.
Wow.
Cute.
That's A+. A+.
See, again, I'm trying to be as clever as Jonathan, but I'm still not making it.
I don't
I'm
know.
trying to be as clever as Carmela.
All right, your second question, round 6. Carmela, speaking of Carmela,
Here I
this
am.
was from a Trivia Warfare After Dark episode where you recalled Ben yelling answers to Lauren and Nick from the bathtub.
Are you okay, Ben? Yeah.
Are you okay, Ben? So that's why I was like, Nick, shut up. I know this is going to be the other one.
It's going to come up later.
So there's a lot that happened during this episode. So it was one of our, it was an After Dark episode. This was the first weekend I had ever met Nick in person. So I had known Nick for all of 2 days. Ben and Jonathan were on a team. I was on a team with Lauren, our good friend Lauren, and Ben went a little hard, a little fast in the sauce. And
Gatorade and Everclear, was it? Was it that one?
No, it was wine and lemonade.
it was
It was always something.
it was
what?
Yeah, it was wine and lemonade. It was
in a milk jug.
It was idiocy. That's what
Yeah,
it was.
he drank it like all in like the first 10 minutes. Unsurprisingly, he got sick. And so he gets up from the table and he's going to be sick, and Nick, again, who I just met, went full dad mode, put his hands out, remembered that this is not his child, and then immediately pulled his hands back and like jumped back away from Ben. And then Ben spent the remainder of this episode in the bathtub, in this little bathroom that was upstairs in Jonathan's old house. And he was just yelling, answering, because we would try to periodically go, "You all right, Ben?" "I'm okay.
I'm okay."
And I think we got down to like the Chinese zodiac. It was like towards the end of the night. So by this point, Ben had been sobering up in this bathtub the whole episode, because this was like a 4-hour recording.
He went in there like round 2, question 1.
Yeah.
It was longer than that.
So long. And so he's just yelling answers at Jonathan from the Chinese zodiac from the bathroom. And it was like I said, it was a very long recording, but those moments, and again, just Nick remembering, I'm a dad, I need to catch this. Oh wait, this is my kid, I don't need to catch this.
Yep.
So that was a good memory.
I have 2 questions.
Sure.
For Ben, sorry. Ben, A, what type of wine? And B, who hurt you?
I don't remember. I know that I gave Jonathan a wrong answer, though. I do remember that. And he was pretty upset about it afterwards.
It was 2018.
Yeah.
I remember when we were doing the in-persons for After Dark's Ben, it was like each time you had a new idea of, okay, this is a way that I'm going to get very drunk and not have a hangover.
Right.
That seemed to be your goal.
Yep.
And each time you would try a different thing, and each time it was
worse.
Just didn't freaking work.
God, we were so
Ben,
young and free back then.
That's because you don't know the secret. It's vodka and Pedialyte every single time.
Solid.
The other secret is hydrate before you go out. That's the very that's
And
that's very
during
key.
and after.
Lots of water
During.
before.
And after, yep. Just water all the
stay
time.
up later than everybody else, eat a full ass bag of combos, drink a whole sheet of water,
Order Taco Bell,
and take like 5 Excedrin.
Yep.
and
Taco
then
Bell.
go to bed. And you'll wake up around noon, and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Well,
It's a shame there is no other solution to hangovers than we just said.
Right.
I've never been hungover a day in my life.
no.
There's not a
We get it.
solution.
We get it.
Oh, you teetotaler.
Stop it. Your second question in round number 6 is from the category of, I'm sure Ben was just as beautiful as Julia Roberts.
Yep. I'm typing that. That's a show title. I'm
Oh
typing
my
that.
God. Okay.
In the 1990 film Pretty Woman, Edward, played by Richard Gere, walks in his penthouse suite's bathroom to find Julia Roberts' character Vivian with a Walkman on. Remember those?
Mm-hmm.
Eyes closed and singing loudly. When Vivian realized Edward is there, she sheepishly takes off the headset and says, don't you just love Prince? Which Prince song, a U.S. Billboard Hot 100 #1 mega hit from 1986, has she been caught singing?
Say it, Zahkia.
We're locked in.
We have meow meows.
Nikki, you love it? We're going with it.
For sure.
Locked in.
Nick, if you don't know this, we're going to have to make up something else that's funny.
Oh, no.
You
I
do
look
know
at your
this.
phone.
We can 3, 2, 1 it.
I don't
do
even know. Is that the name of the song?
Yeah, we're locked in. Yeah, we can 3, 2, 1.
All right, so we're going to 3, 2, 1
everybody
this.
else's answers, we're going to say we have toot toots.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Kiss. My favorite Prince song.
The best part about that song is the very beginning. The like what is going
I had for years. I had that as my ring notification. When someone would text me, it would play that lick in the
Amazing. I do that song. I have heard that song in case anyone's worried.
Thanks, Erin.
So your last question, round 6, Jonathan. You had brought up a memory from.
Wait, Scott, were we right?
What's that? Oh, yeah, of course you're right. Yeah, everybody got yeah.
We
thought we were right.
Have we ever had a 3, 2, 1 where everybody was wrong?
Yes.
Where everybody was wrong?
We've never had this many teams do it 3, 2, 1. This is like a 12.
Not this many teams, but yes, there has been 3, 2, 1s when everybody was wrong.
Wow.
That's
funny. Amazing. I'll have to find out when that was.
Yeah, dude, that's a great question.
Yeah, that is a good question. So anyway, yes, points all around. Excellent job. So your last question in round number 6, Jonathan, you had brought up to me a memory from Trivial Warfare 188, where Chris is getting a question from Ben and says that he's going down to Sesame Street, but it's the way he said it that was so entertaining.
You listened recently, I guess. I don't remember the context of it, but it ended up in the theme of the show because Chris literally is trying to do we were talking about hardcore rap and we were talking about Sesame Street at the same time, like it was an answer. And he says, "Yo, we going down to Sesame Street." Right. And me deadpanning immediately is like, "That's your imitation of hardcore rap."
You remember it? You remember it very well. That's your impression of hardcore rap was your exact response. Yep, that's exactly what happened.
It was brilliant. I loved that moment so much just because it immediately it's one of those perfect jokes, where it's just like it hits with the right timing and everybody's in on it really easily. It was so funny.
And everybody heard it at the beginning of the show for way too many episodes.
Carmela, you raised your hand.
Yeah, because I didn't want to interrupt you, but I did think of a joke. This episode is brought to you by the letters N, W, and A.
I love it.
So your final question of the final round is a colder example of hardcore rap. Found on his second solo album, Death Certificate from 1991, what rapper opened his song A Bird in the Hand with an actual sample of Big Bird taken from an audio sketch called Big Bird Writes a Poem? This rapper would later go on to guest star on an episode of Sesame Street during its 2014-2015 season.
I love that this exists so that you could write this question to tie in.
We're going to lock in, Nikki?
Yep.
All right,
we're locked in.
All right, locked in.
I think the best answer we got is Ice Cube, because you're right. Ice-T, I don't think was a part of a group. I don't remember him being part of a group.
I don't remember him being part of a group, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't part of one.
True.
Ice Cube,
Oh, wait. Yeah, because colder example, so Ice Cube, I think, would be the right answer.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, let's lock Ice Cube.
All right, Ice Cube, locked in.
All right, Jonathan and Nikki.
We're looking at that category name, so we kind of Ice Cube, Ice-T, Vanilla Ice, and we ended up going with Ice Cube.
Yeah, Ice-T was doing that rap rock thing with Body Count at the time.
I thought that was later, but I hope you're right.
All right, Carmela and Ben.
Looking at the colder example throughout Ice Cube and Ice-T, Ben, you thought that Ice Cube was still with NWA at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Ice-T was with Body Count, so we ended up going with Ice-T. Because also he probably would have gone on Sesame Street as his character from SVU.
SVU.
Yep.
All right. Erin, Nick.
Yeah, solo album implies that he was part of a group, and a second solo album in 1991 implies he was part of a group in the 80s. And then with the colder example, we ended up with Ice Cube.
I was worried that Carmela was going to give it too much away with her example of this is brought to you by NWA.
Yeah, she absolutely said that.
But the answer is Ice Cube.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
All right. It's weird, like, because I have 89 in my mind as like the big NWA album. So 91 seems really early for Cube to have 2 solo albums already. But
He put them out basically back to back. It was like 90, 91. Yeah.
Yeah, that was back in the day when they were doing albums like left and right.
It's also weird to look back at our lifespans and look at Ice Cube going from NWA to doing kids movies.
Yeah.
True story.
It's a wild world.
Snoop Dogg
Ice-T
and
had
Martha.
Snoop Dogg and Martha. Ice-T had a song literally called Cop Killer, and he's been playing
became
cop for 20 years.
And I saw the perfect statement during the Olympics. Snoop Dogg is officially America's mascot now.
Flavor Flav's tweets during the Olympics. is
The
probably
water
my
polo,
favorite.
yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
You knew we were going to have a dog as a mascot.
And the fact that Flavor Flav sponsored that water polo team
Yeah.
is
Just awesome. Just
one of
awesome.
the feel-good moments of the year, you know?
Yeah.
All right, going into the final, your scores are Jonathan and Nikki with 138, Carmela and Ben 146, Chris and Zahkia 162, and Erin and Nick at 174. Your gauntlet is in the category of 500. 500.
Our wager is locked in.
Our wager's also locked in.
Our wager is locked in.
We're also locked in.
Our wager is locked.
We have all the wagers in. We're ready to go. So your gauntlet in the category of 500. Your first question in the category of 5. Of the 5 largest United States cities listed by population, as defined by the 2020 U.S. Census Bureau, how many of them are state capitals?
Metro or city?
I actually think I looked that up, and I think there's no difference for the first 5. But I'll confirm. Give me a sec.
There'd be a big difference for one of them, I would think, if it was metro versus city.
Oh God, am I dumb?
I might also be dumb.
I'm still looking because everything I find says the same thing, but I can't sign.
What was the question? Did you need clarification?
Is it okay? How do you say it again, Jonathan?
Metro area versus city population. The metro area would include the surrounding areas.
Like the suburbs.
Versus city proper.
Yeah, and in some cases, multiple cities.
I believe this is just the city proper.
We're locked in.
All right. We are locked in.
All right. We're locked in.
So all I can find is this per the U.S. Census from 2020.
Okay. All right. We'll live with it. So our answer is locked in.
Your second question in the gauntlet is in the category of Hun. It is believed that the name Attila, as in Attila the Hun, has a Gothic etymology with Atta, meaning father, and the suffix ILA to add the adjective little. This etymology was proposed in the 19th century by a famous pair of literary brothers, Jacob and Wilhelm. What is their shared last name?
Yeah, we're locked.
Okay. Our answer is locked in.
All right.
We're locked in.
I like your answer. I was thinking it can't be something more in that area, right?
No, you wouldn't call them literary.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is the one that I said.
Okay, then let's lock in with that.
Right.
Okay.
Your final question in the gauntlet is in the category Dread. In the film The Princess Bride, the title of Dread Pirate Roberts is held by Wesley, but, spoiler alert, he suggests passing the title on to what other character near the end of the film?
That's the question?
That's the question.
I thought he was going to ask what was the name of the previous Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah, or all of them. Yeah, that's I was starting to list them out.
We're locked in.
Yeah, we're locked in too.
We are locked in the 3, yes, Zahkia?
All right, we're locked in.
Yeah. This is the second Princess Bride reference from me and Nick in this gauntlet.
Fair.
So, For the first question in the gauntlet, category 5, I asked for how many state capitals are in the largest 5 cities in the U.S. Jonathan and Nikki, what did you have?
We went with 1.
Yeah, we think Phoenix is the one.
Right. Chris, Zahkia.
We went a little bit differently. I think the top largest cities in the U.S. are New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, and Philadelphia. So we said 0.
Right. Carmela and Ben.
We were between 1 and 0, but Phoenix is pretty big, so we end up landing with 1. Although I can definitely see it being 0, Zahkia.
Yeah.
All right, Nick and Erin.
We also said New York, LA, Chicago is the big 3. Then I said it's either Dallas or Houston, and Erin said Philadelphia. I said, well, no matter what, none of those are state capitals. And then we went, wait a minute. He's not going to just ask the question and have it be that. So we kept thinking a little bit, and we said, is Phoenix 1? And we said, I don't know. So we said, it's probably not going to be 0. We went with 1.
Fortunately, I've spent the last several years developing an immunity to iocane powder. So we said 1.
All right, your second question in the category of Hun. I asked about where I asked who came up with the etymology for the name of Attila the Hun. And let's go back with Jonathan and Nikki.
I was considering maybe some sort of reference book thing, but Jonathan said Grimm, and so that's what we agreed on, and we went with Grimm.
Chris and Zahkia.
I want to know what reference book you're talking about.
Right? Yes, agreed. Well, Zahkia and I both wrote Grimm at the same time, and so we went with Grimm. Path of Least Resistance.
Yeah.
All right. Carmel and Ben.
Wilhelm is German, and the brothers Grimm were German folklorists, so we went with Grimm.
And Erin and Nick.
So I've been with my internet kind of cutting in and out. No shade on my hosts, but I missed most of the question. Yeah, the internet in this lovely home that I'm currently in. And the only words that I heard of the question were literary brothers. So I was like, oh, maybe it's Brothers Karamazov, except my autocorrect just sent the word Kalamazoo, which totally didn't make any sense. And then Nick said,
yeah.
Can you imagine getting that?
Those are Michigan folklorists.
Yeah.
Yep. Something's wrong with Erin. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remembered that I had seen the Matt Damon Heath Ledger movie, and they were Jacob and Wilhelm. It's the Brothers Grimm.
All right. And your final question of the gauntlet, talking about Dread. Who did Wesley pass the title of the Dread Pirate Roberts to? Jonathan and Nikki.
At the end of the movie, Inigo Montoya says, I've been in the revenge business for so long, I don't know what I would do with the rest of my life. And Wesley turns to her and says, you'd make a wonderful Dread Pirate Roberts.
Have you considered piracy?
And so it is Inigo Montoya.
All right. Chris, Zahkia.
Yeah, I probably spelled it wrong in the thing, but thankfully we get to say it. But yes, I also put Inigo Montoya because Jonathan killed my father, prepared to die. Even though my father is still living right down the south.
Right.
But
I also love that Inigo Montoya is another 3-syllable, so you can also replace it with hello.
Zahkia.
My name is Zahkia Mendoza. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
I love
my
it.
father down the road.
Again,
you may have a great future as being the Dread Pirate Roberts. Then.
There you go.
Yeah.
We actually, at the board game convention that my uncle founded, we actually had that as a theme one year. It was, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to roll a die.
Nice.
Yeah, and Chris, you said you might have spelled it wrong, and in your chat here, you did suggest Indigo Montoya, which I don't
know. The card says move.
I'll say though, Indigo Montoya seems like a great drag name. I just want to.
Yes.
Yes.
Carmel and Ben.
Ben, I feel like I've been doing all the talking, and I apologize for that.
No, you're carrying us, which you probably expected to do. So,
portrayed by the wonderful Mandy Patinkin, Inigo Montoya. So we said Montoya, and there he is on the screen, one of the old rapier concerts.
Yep. Nick, Erin.
Oh yeah, we also said Inigo Montoya.
Yeah,
Indigo.
we thought the question Indigo. Yeah, we thought the question was going to be who were the other people that were the Dread Pirate Roberts? And I was trying to remember, and it was Ryan and Cummerbund, and I can't remember the name of the first one, but I do know he's been retired for 15 years and living like a king in Patagonia.
I gotta watch that movie again, man.
The lore goes
just
deep. I think I
watched it
found
last
like
night.
5 names. Yeah. But so for the last question, Inigo Montoya, congratulations. Everyone gets points.
Yay.
For the next to last, you figured out that it was the Brothers Grimm, which they definitely don't usually write stuff like that. So I thought that was dreadfully interesting.
Not the Brothers Karamazov.
Dreadfully. So, of the 5 largest U.S. cities by population as defined by the U.S. Census, how many of them are state capitals? I did hear it said it was New York, L.A., Chicago, and then there was a flip-flop there of Houston and Phoenix, but it doesn't matter because Phoenix is the only one. So the answer is 1.
Yeah!
Dang it.
So, Carmela and Ben, how much did you wager?
I didn't think that we would get all of them right. We did. It turns out we did. But we're like, there's 4 teams. Let's let them fight it out, and we'll just see what happens in the dust settles. We wagered 0.
Yep. All right. Zahkia and Chris.
Well, we decided that we wanted to make it easy on you, Scott, since you're having to do the addition and everything. And so, Zahkia?
We also did 0.0.
All right. Jonathan and Nikki.
We thought about going 0, but I said to Nikki, somebody else is going 0. I think we should go 38. And so we went 38.
And Erin and Nick.
Just for the record, I was all for going 0. I messaged Nick and I'm like, yo, I gotta pee.
Well, that would be something.
It's like, I gotta pee. I gotta take a break. Like once we hit the wagering, like I'm going to scoot, but my vote is 0. And I took my phone with me and I was downstairs and he's like, I don't think we should do that. I'm like, sure, fine. Let's bet it all.
So that's what we did. We bet it all.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Good job.
What?
Holy crap.
So your final scores.
We could have won, Nikki. We were so close to winning by 2.
So your final scores, after it's all said and done, Carmela and Ben, 146. Zahkia and Chris, 162. Nikki and Jonathan, 176. And your winners, Erin and Nick, 348 points.
Good job.
Hey.
For the
Wonderful
second year in a
work.
row, right? You guys won last year too, right?
I was with Carmela last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean 400? You mean 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
What? Numbers? What? What's happening?
Time is a flat
Ouch.
circle.
Meaningless.
Yeah. Speaking of Matthew McConaughey.
All right, guys. Good job,
Great
everybody.
game.
Erin, you were going to say something?
I was just gonna say some people I love are downstairs. Let's wrap this up so I can go hug them again.
That's exactly what I'm thinking too, guys. Before we go around, does anybody want to say any famous last words?
I
want to say anything.
This is a weird way to tell us we're all fired, dude.
no,
And now for your brand new host. I do just actually, sorry. I actually do just want to say something. So I was kind of like the first of like the other hosts that Jonathan brought on. So I've kind of been around the longest other than Chris. And this has been great. We've been doing this for almost 10 years. 500 episodes is an enormous feat. We were referred to as that big name podcast, trivia podcast in a Discord the other day. And I was like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone refer to us like that. I usually just say we're the dinosaurs of the bunch because we've been around for so long. But all that to say is thank you for sticking around with us this long. I'm just an anxious little human from Jacksonville, Florida, who just wants someone to love them, and you guys love me, and I appreciate that. So thank you for coming along with us, and actually thank everybody here on this screen for sticking around and making this what it is. So appreciate it.
Oh goodness,
Amen.
we love you
love you
too,
all.
Carmela.
Thanks for
I
having me.
love you.
Completely
Does
like.
anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say something much more stupid and not like.
Well, not now, Jonathan.
I was gonna say to Scott and Ben, if you ever want to do Secret Garden, I will be Eldebarge. That's it.
Yes.
We've been talking about doing that for years.
All right.
We'll pencil you in.
Okay.
Oh.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
See you
Thank
again
you.
in 100 episodes.
Thank you.
Yep.
So I'd like to say thank you to all of you guys throughout the years. I say regularly to the listeners that they're the reason that we're still here. And frankly and truthfully, there's absolutely no way that we do 500 episodes without the Patreon, without the people going to the meetups, the takeovers, engaging relationships and the friendships that have grown throughout the year are by far the most meaningful part of this, but also the support is a huge part of this. That really is the reason that we keep going. So a huge thank you to them, but a huge thank you to you guys, because there's absolutely no way that I do this alone, right? It's just not, it's not feasible. It's not feasible for a number of reasons. So both Chris, who is just me and you, and then Ben and Carmela, and then as each of you came on, you kind of increased and amplified and allowed things to continue to move forward in a way that they could not do otherwise. And so just a huge heartfelt thank you from me to all of you.
Oh, thank you.
We love you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Thank you for making the vehicle that pushes us all forward.
Like a runaway train.
That raced John Henry.
And killed him.
Well, then that is gonna wrap us up. So for Kit, for Scott, for Carmela, for Ben, for Zahkia, for Erin, for Nikki, for Nick, and for Chris.
Yes.
My name is Jonathan, and this has been episode number 500 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Have fun storming the castle.
That's on the wind up. That's on the pull string crystal. Just for the record, we were talking about catchphrases earlier. That's absolutely coming out of the pull string.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit propodcastingservices.com.
Can you imagine Trivial Warfare 1000 when all of our children are doing this?
I don't have any kids.
Yeah, right?
You don't have any kids yet.
It'd be like Sebastian will be in his 20s.
You got my kids on the show. We are
Trivial
in the
Warfare
alternate timeline.
1000. What's 500 episodes from now? Is another 8 years?
No, it's another
almost 10 years.
It's basically
10
years.
Sebastian will be 21 or 22.
Yeah.
Great.
It's first after dark.
That's a goal. That's a goal.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, no. I'm gonna introduce him to wine and lemonade.
Oh my God.
Great idea.
And it is time to play the game. She always does the sound. You just start listening.